afternoon. I'm Billy Lopez alongside Zachary Nikolai. Welcome to Ortmayer Stadium here in the lovely Laverne, California for today's SCIAC football matchup between the Chapman Panthers and the University of Laverne Leopards. It is senior day and we will pass it over to the PA announcer.
Our next senior is number 4, Connor Johnson. Connor is a linebacker and kinesiology major from Tracy. Connor was named SCIAC Athlete of the Week last season after the Leopards beat Cal Lutheran, and he is a 3-year team captain for Laverne and 4-year member of the Leopards football team. After graduation, he plans to pursue a career as a doctor of physical therapy and eventually open his own practice. He is joined today by his parents Peggy and Louie, brother Cameron, sister Carly, grandparents Jean and Daryl, girlfriend Kennedy, and friends Nate and Trish. One more time, number 4, Connor Johnson. Our next senior is number 6, Jordan Moore. Jordan is a wide receiver and criminal justice major from Elk Grove. He ranks second on the Leopard squad in both receptions and receiving yards. He is joined today by his teammates Matt Chone, Daniel Moman, Spencer Poole, and Dijon Canton. Ladies and gentlemen, number 6, Jordan Moore. Next up is number 7, Matt Chone. Matt is a wide receiver and business administration major from Pleasant Grove. After he graduates, he plans on getting his master's in marketing and playing football in England. He is accompanied today by teammates Preston Carr, Jordan Peavy, Cole Roberts, and Kevin Stark. One more time, number 7, Matt Chone. Next, we have number 9, Matt Albright. Matt is a quarterback and speech communications major from Napomo, who's accounted for 8 total touchdowns this season. Following graduation, he plans to pursue a master's degree in communications or sports counseling. His parents, Stephanie and Michael, accompany him today. Let's hear it for number 9, Matt Albright. Our next senior is number 9, Preston Carr. Preston is a linebacker and business administration major from Chino. Preston earned all SCIAC honors last season and ranked second in the SCIAC this year with 10.4 tackles. That's 10.4 tackles per game. After he graduates, he plans to continue his education, first with a master's degree and later with a doctorate, and he also plans to pursue a career as a coach. He is accompanied by his mother, Tina, and brother, Michael. One more time, number 9, Preston Carr. Next is number 10, Grayson Klein. Grayson is a wide receiver and business administration major from Chino, who has played 4 years for the Leopards. Following graduation, he plans to attend graduate school and work towards an MBA. His parents, Renee and Grayson, sister Haley, and grandparents Richie, Gig, Bobby, and Laura join him today. Ladies and gentlemen, number 10, Grayson Klein. Our next senior is number 15, Sam Taylor. Sam is a quarterback and business administration major from Victorville and has accounted for 11 touchdowns this season. Following graduation, he plans to work towards establishing his own business. He is joined today by his parents Becky and Chris, brother Cam, and sister Hannah. Let's hear it for number 15, Sam Taylor. Our next senior is number 19, Mason Thomas. Mason is a wide receiver and psychology major from Porter Ranch. He is a 4-year member of the Leopard squad. After his graduation, he plans on going to graduate school and eventually become a psychologist. He is accompanied today by his parents Jill and Malcolm, brothers Keith, Eric, and Andres, and sisters Latoya and Alexis. Ladies and gentlemen, number 19, Mason Thomas. Next we have number 21, Bobby Franklin. Bobby is a safety and biology major from Palmdale. He made a game-clinching interception against Whittier on homecoming this year that earned him SCIAC Athlete of the Week honors. After he graduates, he plans to enroll in veterinary school. He is joined today by his mother Laura, brother Mark, sister Zania, and godparents Sandra and Annabelle. One more time, number 21, Bobby Franklin. Next up is number 23, James Gonzalez. James is a running back and criminology major from Martinez and earned all SCIAC honors last season. He plans to look for ways to continue playing football and eventually become a sheriff's deputy after graduation. He is joined by his parents Joy and Mike, sister Bella, Aunt Roberta, and grandmother Rita. Let's hear it for number 23, James Gonzalez. Our next senior is number 29, Gabriel Lopez. Gabriel is a business administration major and linebacker from Santa Ana. After he graduates, he plans to work towards owning his own company. His mother, Angelina, joins him on the field today. One more time, number 29, Gabriel Lopez. Next up is number 33, Troy Vance. Troy is a safety and criminology major from Fontana. He plans to join law enforcement after he graduates. He's accompanied by his parents Lisa and Steve, brother Tyler, cousin Stacy and Isaac, grandma Barbara, Aunt Brenda, Uncle Rob, Aunt Marla, Uncle Carl, and high school coach Phil. Let's hear it for number 33, Troy Vance. Our next senior is number 38, Sean Backer. Sean is a biology major and safety from Sweden. He is a 4-year member of the Laverne squad. After he graduates, he plans on attending medical school. Sean is joined today by his parents, Farnak and Lennart, cousin Casey, and aunts Zoe and Farah. Let's hear it for number 38, Sean Backer. Next up is number 44, Kevin Stark. Kevin is a kinesiology, health, and human performance major and fullback from Chandler, Arizona. After graduation, he plans to work as a strength and conditioning coordinator and attend graduate school. He is joined today by his parents Lisa and Brent, brother Matt, and family members Connie, Pat, Lisa, Manna, Kayleen, Richard, and Marie. Let's hear it for number 44, Kevin Stark. Next up is number 46, Brad Bredsing. Brad is a kinesiology major and tight end from San Ramon. After he graduates, he plans to teach high school physical education and coach football and rugby. His parents, Nicole and Jeff, brother Greg, grandparents Chris and Bill, and girlfriend Bree accompany him today. Let's hear it again for number 46, Brad Bretzing. Next up, number 47, Zach Zavala. Zach is a linebacker and kinesiology major from Greenfield. He plans to pursue a career in sports rehabilitation after graduation. Zach is joined today by his mother Dora and brother Einar. One more time, number 47, Zach Zavala. Our next senior is number 64, Rudy Medina. Rudy is a criminology major and offensive lineman from Riverside. He is a 4-year member of the Leopard football team. After graduation, he plans to join the police academy in pursuit of becoming a deputy sheriff. He is joined by his mother Claudia, brother Ignacio, sisters Claudia and Desiree, and his grandmother. Ladies and gentlemen, number 64, Rudy Medina. Next up is number 67, Joseph Bubba Whitmer. Bubba is an offensive lineman and kinesiology major from Bell. He plans to work as a coach after graduation. He's joined today by his parents Juanita and Mark, stepfather Caesar, and Coach Perez. Let's hear it for number 67, Bubba Whitmer. Next is number 75, Manuel Dorado. Manuel is an offensive lineman and mathematics major from Adelano. He is a team captain and 4-year member of the Laverne squad. He plans to teach high school math and coach football after graduation. He is joined today by his mother Teresa, brother Joseph, and sister Marlene. Let's hear it for number 75, Manuel Dorado. Our next senior is number 76, Tyler Baeza. Tyler is an offensive lineman and business administration major from Pomona. He's an all-SCIAC recipient and a 4-year member of the Leopards. After he graduates, he plans to play overseas in the Euro League and eventually enter a career in international marketing. Check that. He is joined today by his parents, Diana and Edward, brother Austin, sisters Debbie and Selena, family members Eunice, Scarlett, Ariana, Rosalinda, Jose, Rosa Maria, and Tatiana. Let's hear it for number 76, Tyler Barraza. Our final senior is number 97, Michael Bloomfield. Michael is a defensive lineman and biology major from Norco. He plans to go to pharmacy school after he graduates from Laverne. He's accompanied today by his parents Heidi and Dan, sister Maloney, girlfriend Sochi, and his grandfather. Ladies and gentlemen, number 87, Mikey Bloomfield. Congratulations to all of the seniors and their guests. We thank you for being Leopards and wish you all the best, and it's been an honor announcing your games.
As we take a look at the standings, Zach, Chapman sits at the top of the standings as they are undefeated and have just had a tremendous season. Laverne kind of middle of the pack, 3-4 in SCIAC, but they can finish at 4-4, which is something that they haven't done since 2015, at least finish 500 and above.
If they could finish 500 today, it would be fantastic. As for Chapman, they come out, they win today, they win everything. For Redlands, they're 8-1. Chapman beat Redlands earlier this season. If they win here today, look for them to win everything. If they lose, it'll be really interesting for them in Redlands.
As we take a look at the players to watch for Laverne, we've got Martavius Holiday. Martavius Holiday has had a great season this year. Total of 500 yards, averaging 4.6, and he's got 4 touchdowns. The other back, Zach.
The other senior, James Gonzalez, almost the same. You know, he has 1 more touchdown than him. He's averaging 1.1 more yard than him. It's a great combo that Laverne's going to be missing.
Absolutely. Take a look at some of the receiving core. We got number 6, Jordan Moore. Moore had 239 receiving yards thus far, averaging almost 30 yards per game, and has a touchdown to go along with that.
And then if we look at number 5, Nathaniel Sagasumi, he's short, but he gets things going. He's really the most explosive receiver for them, averaging almost 35 yards a game. And he goes out there, he's open usually in the middle of the field, and he's able to slip in and out of tackles. So look for him to play a big part today.
He's a clutch player as well. As we take a look at the passing core, we got Sam Taylor, this player to watch. 42 percentage, you want to get that a little bit higher. 772 yards, not a bad season for Sam Taylor, though, with 7 touchdown passes.
Oh, he does a lot of his damage on the ground. As for defensive side, Bobby Franklin, another senior. I love him. I've talked to him a couple times. He's fantastic. He's out here. He has over 40 tackles this season. He's had 2 interceptions, 1 blocked field goal last week. He's just an all-around great leader for this team, and they feed off his energy.
And lastly, we got Preston Carr. Won't be playing today, but had a tremendous season and one of the defensive leaders, and is still having an effect on the field despite not being able to play for them.
You talk to these players, they really feel that energy, and some people don't understand that just vibe that they get. I know it sounds very Southern California-ish, but they feed off that energy, and it's amazing that they have those teammates.
As we take a look at Chapman's players to watch, we got Marcos Reyes. Marcos over 600 yards rushing with 9 touchdown passes. And he's 4th in SCIAC in that category.
As we have Tanner Mendoza, number 28, doing a great job out there. Doing a great job out there. He has almost 500 yards on the ground. He has 5 touchdowns this season. This offense is really great because no one really leads the pack. It's a group effort.
4 combined rushers over 300 yards. Receiving core, we take a look at Spencer Corona. What a job he has done. 250 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, averaging 14 per catch.
Number 10, Zach Shorts. I think it's a great name, but besides that, almost 400 yards receiving this year. He's averaging about 54 per game, 2 touchdowns along the 49. Look for him to be the big weapon for them today.
Take a look at the quarterback for Chapman, Reed Vettel. This guy has a cannon on him, and he's not even playing as much as he can be. 954 passing yards, 11 passing touchdowns, 54 completion percentage rating. Tremendous guy that Chapman has.
Blake Simeon, he's out here. He's doing a lot of the dirty work for this defense. Look for him to step up in holes and do great.
And lastly, the defensive player, Dylan Keefe. Dylan Keefe, 8.5 sacks to lead SCIAC, has an interception as well. Just a tremendous player on this Chapman team, and he leads that defense.
It's going to be a fun one today.
Well, we talked about it earlier. It's senior day, obviously. We had a tremendous reception for all the seniors on the Laverne squad. Laverne is a really successful team, Zach, in senior days. They've won their last 2 consecutive senior days, and you go back in the history, they don't lose too many of these. Something goes on in a senior when they know this is going to be their last time playing. What's that feeling like to go out there, potentially your last time ever?
Now, before we go into that, it is senior day, and I'd like to say happy senior day to you, Billy Ray Lopez. It'll be the last football game that you'll be calling in your career here at Laverne, so I'd like to say great job, and it was awesome commentating with you. I think you do a great job. On to Laverne, though. This is their last time on this field, and for this season, it's their last time playing this season. You don't want to walk off your last game being a loser. It's just that pride and that ego that you have in you that you want to go out there and you want to win. And yeah, I know you want to win every game, but with it being your last, you want to come out here and you want to put your all on there and look for this to be a very physical game and look for you to see some amazing plays today.
And not only that, you have the added emotion for the seniors, but as people who are non-seniors on this Laverne team, you've went to war with these guys all season long, and you want to do as much as you can, not only to prep for next year, but to make sure that these seniors have the send-off that they deserve.
And it's really difficult because a lot of them are seniors, as we see the coin flip at midfield. It's really hard because a lot of their offense and defense is seniors. So you're going to see some role players coming in, and they're going to try their best to go out there. Nathaniel Sagastumi is the one that comes to mind. He's going to be that big non-senior that's going to try to do everything he can so that way Sam Taylor or Matthew Albright can get their win today.
Well, it's a beautiful day here in Southern California, in Laverne. 84 degrees, sunny skies. And man, oh man, is it good to have a little bit of shade up here in the booth area.
Really nice to have shade, especially because we're both wearing all black.
Most of the country's in snow, but we out here in California have the sun pretty much year-round.
Yeah, except if you go 45 degrees north, then you go to the mountains, then it's snowy. If you go 45 degrees south, you go to the beach. It's just...
give or take a few inches of snow up there.
Yeah, welcome to SoCal.
Well, the coin toss is done with, and we are just moments away from kickoff. Chapman will kick off to Laverne. Deep back to receive is Martavius Holiday for the Leopards, as well as Nick Kimball.
Martavius Holiday, the one that leads them on the ground during special teams. Look for him to at least get to the 25 right now.
Owen Tapia, the freshman out of Eastville, California, kicking off for Chapman University. Tapia boots it near the end zone. Martavius Holiday will gather it and take the knee in the end zone. A smart choice for Martavius Holiday right there.
You never want to lose yards. I remember earlier in the season they would try returning a couple and they'd be within their own 10, within their own 15. You don't want to do that today, especially since a very fundamentally sound Chapman team.
Well, you mentioned to me before we got on air, Zach, that Chapman just has a way with whoever they are playing, averaging 3 touchdown margin of victory.
A little over 21 points.
I mean, that is just dominance on both sides of the football.
And it's amazing because we have 2 guys that throw the ball really well. We have 6 guys who have rushed for a touchdown and 9 who have received a touchdown for this Chapman team. It's going to be a lot for Matthew Albright today. Look for him to have to come out, have a big game, and start this tempo out early.
Matthew Albright under quarterback. Offensive lineman Manuel Dorado, number 75, is going to be out there for the Leopards. Does he have a delay of game?
Offense. 5-yard penalty will be declined. First down.
As you mentioned, number 75, Manuel Dorado, was out there. He got hurt earlier in the season, had to be carted off the field. It looked like a very serious injury. And for today, senior day, I'm glad this is his last memory of football, not getting carted off. It's his opportunity to actually walk off the field under his own power.
And such a special moment for him and for his teammates and for his family that is here today.
I'm getting chills right now seeing him hug it out, Coach Creek. It's something that he's going to remember for a long time.
A special moment there for Laverne and a good sign of sportsmanship on the Chapman side to say, hey, yeah, we will do this along with you.
As Chapman does decline it, and then football will begin. 1st and 10, Billy.
Matthew Albright still in at quarterback. Play clock down to 10 seconds. Gonzalez moves. Takes the handoff, running to the right side, still on his feet, and they'll blow it dead after picking up 2, maybe 3 yards.
And this is when we're going to start seeing Laverne go back to their roots. A lot of running on the ground. That looked like he was just running to a giant cluster. Look for him to break those later on in the game.
Sal Ochoa III, the defensive back senior out of Fountain Valley, was in on there to stop Gonzalez. Here on 2nd and 6.
We're seeing a lot of hard counts to start out the game. That's going to help against this Chapman rush.
On 2nd down, it's a bobbled snap. Albright just has to lay down and fall on it.
Smart choice by Albright, not trying to do anything with it. It was bobbled, but it was about a 3-4 yard loss. You can live with that. Jump on it, and it's going to be about 3rd and 10 right now, Billy.
Noah Cajo's in on the sack. And just about the easiest sack you could get. Once you get the bad snap, it's just find the quarterback and get on him. So after 2nd and 6, it's a loss of 5, and now you're faced to 3rd and 12. 4 wide receivers set. Albright takes the snap, faces 2 players coming right at him. The pass is intended for Jordan Moore.
4th and 12.
And that's really tough for Matthew Albright. You have one guy, number 44, coming right off the edge, Dylan Keefe, just free off the edge. He had to throw it before his receiver was even turned around. Great location, nonetheless, knowing exactly where he was going to be, just too high.
And Dylan Keefe, 8.5 sacks to lead Skyac. Wyatt Harden deep back to receive for Chapman, right around his own 40-yard line, and they're going to fake it right here. Caballero on 4th down is going to pick up the 1st down.
Kickers are people too, Billy. Kickers are people too. He had one guy coming in. He looked as if he was going to attempt the block. Quick step to the left, jab step, got in there and beat him to the corner. Kickers are people too.
And it's a gutsy play, but when you're playing with nothing to lose, as Laverne is, you have more risk opportunities, and Coach Creek says, you know what, why not? Let's do it. We're playing the top-seeded team in Skyac. Let's try it right here in the beginning.
You got to be able to do stuff that gives you that advantage, and this offense has to take control of it right now.
1st and 10 from Laverne's 36. Albright continuing to try the hard count. Play clock down to 7 seconds. Albright takes the snap, a quick handoff up the middle, and this time it's Martavius Holiday getting near the Laverne 45-yard line. A decent gain on 1st.
Great job by the right guard, kicking out the man over him. Really great run today.
Chris DeCertis, the junior defensive back, and Sal Ochoa III, both in on the tackle on Martavius Holiday. Now 2nd and 3 from the Laverne 43-yard line.
This hard count, I know I said it's going to slow down the rush, but when you do it every single time, they're going to start understanding that it's on 2.
Albright takes the snap once again, faces pressure from Dylan Keefe, airs it out to Jordan Moore, who keeps his feet inbounds, walking in to the end zone. Touchdown, Leopards.
Dylan Keefe off the edge. I thought he was going to absolutely destroy Matthew Albright. Instead, he stuck in there, threw up a dime to the senior Jordan Moore, and Moore did the rest.
One senior to another senior, and Laverne is on the board on their first drive, Zach.
Did you
they
see that tightrope?
Chapman.
Did you see that tightrope?
Jordan Moore with the beautiful footwork down that sideline. And how about the wherewithal and the poise by Albright to stay in there knowing Dylan Keefe is on you and air it out. A perfect throw to Jordan Moore. Diego Garcia's point after splits the uprights, and it's 7-0 Laverne with 12:22 remaining in the first quarter.
Back to what you're saying about Albright, great poise, and I love football, especially high school and college, because you get to see the growth. If I showed you film from him week 3, week 4, he's turning his body, he's throwing it out of bounds, or he's just going to the floor with it. This is that growth that I love to see from a senior. He's able to step up in the pocket, understand he's getting hit, but Billy, when you get hit and you score, it feels a lot better.
Absolutely. So 7 points are on the board for the Leopards. Now the Panthers are forced to respond. See the defensive coordinator right in front of us, letting his defense know what went wrong there, and he's not very happy.
Well, it's difficult because they do a great job of mixing up, and they have their schematics up front for the blitz. And Dylan O'Keefe, I feel I'm going to be saying his name a lot today. Not O'Keefe, excuse me, Dylan Keefe. He's coming out here, and he's been in Albright's face. How many times have I said so far? 2?
At least 2, 3 times, yeah.
He's going to have a big game today. You can't be too upset with the pressure. It's got to be with the coverage.
Carson Campuzano, one of the players back to receive the kick, and this kick from Arturo Herrera Caballero is headed out of field. The Panthers will set up shop 1st and 10 from their side of the field. A chance to respond to the first possession score by the Leopards.
As this drive will start out on the 35 with that illegal kicking. And that's something difficult because, as we were saying, this Chapman offense is dangerous, and you can't give them that much of a short field. As they're exchanging hard counts.
In at quarterback is Johnston McIntyre, number 14 for Chapman. McIntyre takes the snap. The righty stays in the pocket, throws it up the middle. Pass is caught by his receiver, John Kroll.
Great presence to step up in the pocket and keep your eyes downfield. He stepped up, looked as if he was going to take off, found his man in the middle of the field, dunked it off, got a first down.
Verne only rushed 4, but the pressure got there as the seconds were ticking away with McIntyre staying in the pocket for too long. They get the first down, 1st and 10 now from their own 46. McIntyre takes the snap. Pressure up the middle, hit as he throws. Pass is caught to Wyatt as he's pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
We talked about Matthew Albright having that poise. I saw that right there. He flinched a little bit, able to have that open throw to a wide open receiver, turned his body, but stayed in there. This is going to be a fun game quarterback-wise if they keep it on Billy.
Wyatt Harden with his first reception now sets up far down on the bottom of the screen. Back-to-back passing plays, and now 3 in a row. This one once again to his receiver. And this time it will result in a 2nd down.
Not all plays have to be touchdowns or first downs. They're setting up. And when you have a great pass rush like this coming against your offense, quick screens, quick throws outside is able to slow that down. So look for them to build off that.
Connor Johnson on the tackle on Kroll. 2nd and 5, 3 for 3 for McIntyre through the air. It's a team that rushes for over 200 yards a game, and they've gone through the air every single play. This time it's an easy pick for Laverne. Don't know what McIntyre was thinking, but that one was the easiest pick you could have had. Raymond Morones picks it off.
Raymond Morones, 4 picks in 3 games so far, Skyac Athlete of the Week last week, doing a great job, went to high school with them. He is not any different. Ball hawk, Billy.
And I think you can attest to that one probably being one of the most easiest picks that he could have gotten.
You know, people play defense for a reason. If he dropped it, I wouldn't have been shocked.
So Morones gets the pick, and now Laverne was able to stifle the hot offense of Chapman as they were 4 for 4 through the air before that interception. I guess you can say they were 5 for 5.
Someone caught it.
Right? Albright takes the snap, a quick throw to Jordan Moore on the outside, stiff arms his way out of bounds And Jordan Moore has himself a couple of receptions early on.
And this is when you find your matchups early out in a game, and this is what I thought Laverne lacked throughout the season. I thought they weren't able to identify who they can beat. Jordan Moore's coming out here and showing, hey, I'm the guy, give it to me, especially when he has press coverage right now.
2nd and 2, James Gonzalez, all SCIAC running back a year ago, is now behind Matthew Albright.
Billy, Jordan Moore beat him over the top, and they have no help.
Gonzalez on 2nd and 2 will run it up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, has the first down, and Moore running his way through into Chapman territory, tackled near the 40.
The big point about Holiday and Gonzalez that I've been saying for the past year now, it's not that they're quick or fast, which they are, but that's not the big thing. It's they keep going and moving their feet after contact. He was hit about 5-6 yards past the line of scrimmage and kept going after that great run.
That's the difference between a good running back and a great running back. Sal Ochoa the third in on the tackle. If he didn't get to Gonzalez, Gonzalez was taking it to the house.
Something tells me we're going to be seeing that today.
3 wide receiver set for Laverne. Albright on 1st and 10 now from the Panthers 42. A run up the middle once again. This time Panthers were ready for it, but it's still a decent pickup on the ground.
You want to get at least 3 to 4 yards rushing on that first down. That way you're able to get into an area where you can say, you don't know if I'm going to run, you don't know if I'm going to pass. And the way Laverne's been playing today, that's going to be fantastic for them. Not being in a passing down situation, that's how they're going to win today.
Jonathan Bunnell in on the tackle. Now on 2nd and 6 from the Panthers 38-yard line. Laverne up on top 7-0 with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. James Gonzalez has had a decent start to his senior day. Albright takes the snap. Gonzalez picks up the blitz. Albright lets it fly. Incomplete down the right sideline.
Not a bad decision. A little more air on it to allow him to get underneath it would have been better, but I like the decision making early of trying to attack this defense.
It's intended for Mason Thomas, but Nathan Parkin was doing the best he could on the coverage. Nathan Parkin was actually covering Jordan Moore on his 2 catches, and then they moved him over to Mason Thomas, and Albright said, I'm going to take a shot at you again.
It's one of those things where if you're a great running team, people are going to want to pack the box, come down and condense that defense, but Albright's making the most of it.
3rd and 6 from the Panthers 38. Albright lets it fly once again, intended for Grayson Klein.
One hand.
And I think he one-handed it in for the catch at the 5-yard line.
10 was holding on to 10, had his left hand underneath, brought it in, and now we are in red zone territory. Billy, I'm getting pumped.
Albright just throwing the bombs, and his receivers are doing the rest. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Taking the snap, giving it to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez pushing his way forward for a yard.
Not a bad run. You're wanting to chip away at this defensive line who's been great this entire season, but look for them to find ways to where they can either cut inside the tackles or try to string it along to get an outside run.
Duncan Hager, the sophomore linebacker, in on the tackle to stop Gonzalez from reaching the end zone. On 2nd and goal now from the 5-yard line with just under 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Laverne looking to add to their 7-0 lead over the undefeated Chapman Panthers. Albright takes a low snap, hands it off to Gonzalez once again, running on the left side this time, picking up 1 yard once again. And Dylan Keefe able to meet Gonzalez after the first yard off the scrimmage.
Now I gamble a little bit. That's just my nature. Here, you know that you run the ball so well. Chapman knows that. I'd give a little flash fake to my running back, and I would play a 2 wide receiver game up at the top of the field.
Mason Thomas lined up on the right side up top on your screen. Jordan Moore down low to the left. 2 wide receiver set, Gonzalez alongside Matthew Albright. A couple of hard counts not working on the Panthers. 3rd and goal. Laverne is 3 yards away from putting up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter on Chapman. Albright takes the snap, stays in the pocket, now escapes, throws it, intended for Mason Thomas. Thomas trying to keep his hands on it and could not corral it in. Incomplete. Frankie Nares, the defensive back out of Long Beach, California, on the coverage on Thomas.
Looked a little more like a basketball game instead of a football game. He just threw it up. I wish he went a little more out of bounds, but just posted up, tried to box out his man, and fortunately for Laverne, was not picked off.
Mason Thomas, one of the seniors on this Laverne squad, no career receiving touchdowns, was doing everything he could to make that his first. Diego Garcia comes in on 4th and goal from a few yards out and drills the field goal. And the Leopards have a 10-0 lead with 6:54 to go in the first quarter. Are you surprised by this start from Laverne?
I'm surprised in a multitude of ways. Right now, we just saw they were about on the 1 or 2 yard line and they kicked a field goal. I think if you go for a fake punt, might as well try to go for it there. If you don't get it, you pin him back. That's just me. But for the start, I was not expecting that fake punt, and that is really what ignited this entire start. And
absolutely.
Look at Matthew Albright right now. He's coming out and saying, Coach, you believe in me? I got your back. He's coming out here. He's throwing the ball in great spots for the most part, and this offense is just falling behind him.
100%. I mean, if you don't have that fake punt, you punt it away. Chapman just about did everything they wanted on offense, and it was just an errant throw by McIntyre right into Morona's hands.
That still is unexcusable. I don't know what he saw there. I think he was throwing on the run, and he wasn't able to get his feet underneath him to make it a line drive throw, but mechanics right now, it's their 9th game of the season. He's got to be able to know how to throw on the run.
Two receivers deep back to receive this kickoff, Wyatt Harden and Nico Ragas for Chapman. Nico Ragas in on the return and has got a couple of blocks bursting across midfield at the 40, the 30, running near the left sideline, the 20, the 10, and Chapman responds just like that. A kickoff return to the house.
And that is how quick a football game can switch. We're talking about field position and how Laverne's doing a great job of extending drives, and they're doing all this, and Chapman comes out and says, I can do it in one play. I don't even need my offense. So great job by Chapman right now. Look for them to build off this. I think their defense, especially number 44, Keefe, he's going to come out here and he's going to feed off this energy. It's going to be a little more like this.
Nico Ragas, I mean, that was, they say about 95 yards out?
About 95, and what bothers me about fast people, because I'm not fast, is you can see they have 2 gears. He's able to escape the first gear, and then all of a sudden he breaks away when he sees the kicker. It's just unfair.
He got fast and faster. Well, the point after goes through the uprights, and Chapman cuts a 2-possession game into a field goal game, 10-7. Leopards still with the lead with 6:42 remaining in the first quarter.
He makes fast people look not fast. That was a great run that we just saw, Billy.
And most of the time you get blocking like that, you might see any flags, but I mean, that was mostly him.
You saw the way they set up. They made it a little arrow or a dive, however your team wants to say it. They set up and they just part the Red Sea. And that's a great job by the special teams coach, able to set that up and just understand, if we get the ball in this situation, this is how we're going to do it.
The defense wasn't doing it for the Panthers, neither was the offense, but the special teams gets the first score for Chapman, and they come within 3. Martavius Holiday for the Leopards will try to do the same if he's get an opportunity. They boot it near Holiday. Holiday from around his own 10-yard line will run it out. And he gets past the 25 and then is tackled shortly after.
Great starting field position for this team. I hope they don't feel deflated. I hope they come out and understand, hey, that's just one play. That wasn't our defense. That wasn't our offense's fault. They can still dominate this game with those 2 phases.
Jacob Rocha in on the tackle to get Holiday down. Matthew Albright has had a pretty good start, and he's going to continue to be the QB in this first quarter for the Leopards. Martavius Holiday is the running back alongside him.
Throughout the season, we saw that they switched between Sam Taylor and Albright. I'm hoping they stay with Albright today, but I understand senior day and the rest of the season you've liked how Taylor runs the ball on the ground, how he does certain things, he has certain packages, but you got to go with the hot hand today.
3 wide receivers set. Albright takes the snap, a handoff to Holiday in on the left end, and Holiday gets tripped up right across the line of scrimmage.
That was a zone read with a bubble on the backside, and I wish that he looked at Nathaniel Sagastumi right there, number 5.
Duncan Hager in on the tackle. Holiday picked up 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Now from the Leopards' 29-yard line. They have a 10-7 lead here in the first quarter against Chapman. Holiday shifts over to the right of Albright. 3 wide receivers set. Another handoff to Holiday. This time he runs left outside. Tackled after picking up a few yards. Once again, Duncan Hager in on the tackle.
Great job by this Chapman defense, all rallying to the ball. If he broke any more, I was going to give a huge shout out to Sagastumi. You look at his stock block, he came in, he crashed on the linebacker. It's really hard. I don't know if you've seen those guys. They're huge. To be able to get in front of them and to give a guy a lane for that, that's a great job by him.
Laverne's faced with another 3rd down, 3rd and 6 from their own 31-yard line. Albright throws, passes caught, Sagastumi near the 1st down, and he gets the 1st down.
Quick throw to the right. What I like about this hard count, I was telling you how sometimes they're going to start queuing off on that it's on 2, but you're able to see the defense because they have to honor that 1st down. So you get to see if someone's actually blitzing, if someone drops out back into coverage. And so I think that's what they're trying to get at today, and I'm liking it so far.
Dylan Keefe, the defensive leader, in on the tackle on Sagastumi. 1st and 10 from the Leopards' 39-yard line. A 3rd down completion for 8 yards from Albright to Sagastumi keeps this drive alive. 4 wide receivers set. Holiday picks up the block on the right end. A bomb thrown to Grayson Klein once again. Caught near the 30-yard line. Grayson Klein, a couple of impressive grabs here in the first quarter.
A little too far out in front of him. If you hit him a little more in stride, we might be looking at a 17-7 lead, but great throw by Albright.
100%. 1st and 10 now from the Panthers' 30-yard line. 4 wide receivers set, 3 to the left of Albright. Mason Thomas, the lone one up top to the right side. And Martavius Holiday still the running back here on this drive. Albright on 1st and 10. Chapman sends 5. Passes intercepted by Chapman. Grayson Klein was the intended receiver. He fell down, and Chris Tissers had himself the easiest interception he could have had.
Oh, we just saw an easier one earlier, but that is not on Albright at all. Klein came out of his break. As a quarterback, you want to hit guys out of their break, and it makes it easier for them to go in stride, be able to make a few moves. That way they can beat the defender, but Klein out of his break, fell to the floor, still tried to make an attempt, but, you know, I'd blame that one on Klein.
They just slipped up, and the pass is intercepted, so now Chapman after turnover. They have a chance to either tie or take the lead on this drive. McIntyre in at quarterback, 3 wide receivers set. McIntyre takes the snap, and for the first time, the Panthers will run it on the ground. They pick up 2 yards. Tanner Mendoza, the sophomore running back, out of Cardinal Newman High School.
You said earlier, this team, I believe you told me that they have not rushed for less than 200 yards this season. Is that correct, Billy?
That is correct.
I think that is absurd. That is the craziest thing I think I've heard today. Look for them to try to build off that. That's their identity.
Well, they tried to surprise Laverne on their first drive. Laverne had to have known that coming in, that this is a run-heavy team, over 200 yards averaging every single game. And they went out and passed it every single play.
And they looked good.
Another handoff, this time to Mendoza, running on the left end. And he does a great job at running through contact as well, picks up 5 yards on the ground.
Well, you see his just body type. He's able to run in between the tackles. He looks big and bulky, but off that short run, I was a little surprised by that quick burst that he had.
Torrey Hilbert in on the tackle for Laverne. Tanner Mendoza still alongside McIntyre. 3 wide receivers bunched up to the right. 3rd down and 4. A big play for the Leopards. Receiver in motion. A fake handoff, McIntyre. A pass, caught, and good enough for a 1st down. Robert Franklin on the coverage.
Not a bad play call. I liked it, especially because Laverne was in an umbrella. But you got to be able to block as a wide receiver. I just saw John Crawl right now stand there, kind of jog out. If he's able to get his hands on Bobby, that could be going for more.
Spencer Corona with the first down grab. McIntyre takes the snap, a handoff to Mendoza up the middle, and that front line getting to Mendoza right away, bringing up second down.
Not all your runs are going to be big. And when you're a run-heavy game, you chip, and the old saying is, one's got to break soon, right?
Absolutely.
So especially the way they run the ball, I like their blocking scheme up front. Look for them to at least have 2 or 3 runs over 20 today.
Second down and 8 to go from their own 35. McIntyre for Chapman, hands it off to Mendoza, and there's a breakthrough right there. That one might be 30. Nearing the 40-yard line, well into Laverne territory, and Chapman's rolling.
It was a little over 20-yard gain, but it looks like we're going to have a holding call back.
Personal foul, defense, number 9, 15-yard penalty. And a run, first down.
So scratch that. Instead of a hold, I think it was a personal foul on a quarterback. So he came in, was fooled by the run, and hit the quarterback.
You get 20 on the ground, extra added for the penalty. That's a 30-yard run, no?
35, but especially you had them at the 30. You looked really well, and then now you have them on your own 30.
First and 10. McIntyre hands it off to Mendoza up the middle once again. A decent run on first.
Great short run by them. The thing that's going to be interesting today is we were talking about McIntyre's poise in the pocket. He had a lane for that zone read to be able to keep it, but if you're hit so often in the passing game, you don't want to get hit, especially after seeing those guys.
Kerry Sanders in on the tackle for Laverne. On 2nd and 7 from the Laverne 25, Chapman looking to take their first lead of the game. They trail 10-7 with 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter. McIntyre takes a high snap, stays in the pocket, throws near the right sideline, and the pass is corralled in by Spencer Corona, pushed out of bounds near the end zone.
The hardest throw and the best throw I think there is in football. You could argue it's an out route, but I think it's a back shoulder fade. When you have that corner capping your receiver and you're able to make eye contact and be on the same page and you throw that back shoulder, it's fantastic.
Handoff up the middle to Mendoza. Mendoza nearing the end zone, but cannot get in. Second down and goal. Mason Montanez, the freshman, in on the tackle.
20 seconds left. We'll see if they try to get a play going. But as I was saying earlier, that back shoulder, with how well they run the ball, I wouldn't be shocked if they're trying to go 2 more plays and get in the end zone. That back shoulder, when you have that advantage over here to the right, I have no issue with that, just bodying up a corner.
Raymond Morones in on the coverage. A little flip to Mendoza in for a touchdown, and Chapman has their first lead of the game as it comes with 1 second remaining in the first quarter.
Great play call by Chapman. They had Laverne outnumbered on the right side. They had to split that defensive end. You had to choose between the quarterback and the running back. I was always taught you go after the running back, so you want the quarterback to keep the ball. That way you're able to get a hit on him. Defensive end came in, hit McIntyre. Sometimes you're going to take a hit for a score.
Ken Barrell, the freshman kicker, comes in and drills his second point after. And Chapman responds to a 10-0 run by Laverne by having a 14-0 run of themselves. With 1 second remaining in the first quarter, Chapman 14, Laverne 10.
1 second left in the first quarter.
Who said that we have a shortage of offense here? Chapman come out. They're looking really good. Their defense, I was expecting a little more from them, but they're able to settle it down now after that pick. But it's going to be a close one unless Chapman runs away with it.
Now the question turns to, can Laverne sustain this type of play? We know from experience calling all these games, Zach, that they're not a team that can get scores and hang with a team that finds the end zone time and time and time again.
And not only that, it's the playing from behind. There is a psyche. Sports are very psychological. It's very psychological, very physical. There's a lot that goes into it, but when you're playing from behind and you know that you're playing the 15th ranked team, there's something that goes at you where you go, we got to come from behind. And You know, some people feed off it. I don't, as we see a squib kick come up. I personally would like to see them just keep playing their game.
Owen Tapia with the squib, and Laverne has good field positioning here to start their next drive in the second quarter. But after 1 quarter of play, the Panthers 14, the Leopards 10. That's the end of the first quarter. Chapman 14, Laverne 10. You're watching SCIAC football on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
I'm the Big C.
What is the Big C?
I'm here to tell you about skin cancer. Skin cancer is the cancer you can see. If we see something new, changing, or unusual, that could be skin cancer.
Is there skin cancer on me right now?
I'm not a dermatologist, but you know who is?
Yeah.
Your dermatologist. You gotta get checked, girl. Do I? Yes! Everybody has to get checked. See the Big C today.
Second quarter of play here at Ortmayer. Laverne back on offense. Matthew Albright in at quarterback. Grayson Klein in motion. 3 wide receivers now to the right. Albright takes the snap, escapes one pass rush from the Panthers, throws it, and it's intercepted at midfield by the Panthers. Second interception by Albright. Sal Ochoa, the third, the senior out of Fountain Valley, gets the interception.
I have a lot of things wrong with that play, Billy. First off, you got a guy in motion coming to the right. If you saw the defense pre-snap, I know you don't like to make pre-snap decisions, but no one was on him. No one went with him. Okay, so that's your safety net. You have someone coming right at you, roll out to your left. You have to understand that backside route, you have to know where he is. So if you're just throwing up a prayer like that, throw it to your mom in the stands, okay? Don't give them a chance to continue this lead.
Well, the Panthers defense has woken up after giving up 10 points. They've responded with 2 takeaways of their own. Now here's Reed Vettel, first look at him at quarterback. Takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, hurls it, intended for a receiver in the end zone, incomplete. That was Damian Martin Bostic, the intended receiver.
Morona's almost had his second of the day, just completely overthrown. That's what you kind of expect coming in, first play, but we'll see how it goes from there.
2nd and 10 from the Laverne 33-yard line. And if you're Laverne, that is not what you wanted to see in the second quarter, especially putting your defense in tough position to prevent Chapman from scoring yet again. Another handoff to Mendoza on the left end. He stiff arms Franklin and busts through Morones for a first down, pushed out of bounds near the left sideline.
There's a show on ESPN Plus called Peyton's Place, and recently he talked about the death of the fullback and who killed it and everything. This guy reminds me of a fullback, but he runs like a running back. It's really weird. He's got that Jerome Bettis just kind of size and punishment to corners on the outside.
He's huge. 2 wide receivers set, 1 up top to the right. That's Bostic, and 1 down low to the left. That's Daniel Roberts. On 1st and 10, a handoff to Mendoza on the right edge, and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
The way you win games is you do different formations, and I really like Chapman coming out here, split back set, trying to see how the defense reacts to it, and it looks like Laverne answered really well, because the more defensive linemen, the more linebackers you bring in for this team, the tougher they get. So if it were me, I'd spread them out. I think their secondary is the weak point for them, and let's see how Chapman responds to this.
Connor Johnson able to get on the tackle on Mendoza. Now on 2nd and 10, still from the 33. Kettle takes the snap, hurls it, intended for a receiver. A lot of contact, no flags. Torrey Hilbert on the coverage.
He didn't seem like he was going to play the ball. Looks like his hands went up a little early towards his face, but if the referee doesn't call it, it's not a penalty, Billy.
Well, that woke up the Laverne faithful and the Chapman side of things. Take a look at the stands. Chapman's packed the visiting side, and they are not happy. The Laverne band getting involved now, and it's a big 3rd down play right here for this Laverne defense.
Especially for defense, when you get the crowd involved, it's great. As we see an empty set, they want to spread out this defense.
Reed Vettel with a 4-man rush, throws very short and incomplete. Maybe intended to Nico Ragas.
He had him open in the shallow. I think he had a lane to at least make it interesting to try to get a first down, but you cannot throw behind your receiver that much. You got to be able to get your hips in front of the throw and step into it.
Well, 4th and 11. Ball spotted on the Leopards 24. And by the signs of this, it looks like Chapman's going to go for it right here on 4th down. 13:22 remaining in the second quarter. Vettel empties out the back, stays in the pocket with some rush, passes caught and taken away by Torrey Hilbert. That's an interception.
I was talking earlier about that back shoulder throw, and if you do it too soon, when your receiver's not looking and the corner's looking, it's an easy pick, and he's lucky his receiver was able to fight for that one. But great read by Torrey Hilbert, and that got you a little excited.
Well, Spencer Corona had it, and Torrey Hilbert said, okay, you have it, but I want it more, and just ripped it away.
Ripped it out.
A huge play by this Laverne defense. They get the ball back after Albright gave Chapman the ball.
This game today so far, it's given me a little backyard feel. You know, we see some big hits so far. We're seeing a lot of great throws, some fake punts. It's just a lot of fun so far today here at Senior Day.
Albright in at quarterback, 13-16 remaining in your first half. The Panthers have a 14-10 lead. There's a 10-0 run for Laverne, and then a 14-0 run for Chapman. A handoff to Martavius Holiday, who bursts ahead on the left side for about 5 yards.
And this is where Laverne's successful. I've said it before. When you get into these not knowing if it's a pass or run down, that's when they're successful because they can keep you off balance. When Laverne gets in those passing downs, that's when defenses capitalize.
2nd down and 6. Ball spotted on the Leopards 17-yard line. With 12:45 remaining in the second quarter. Laverne looking to regain the lead that they once had. Albright hands it off to Holiday. Holiday stiff arms Dylan Keefe, but Keefe able to continue and bring him down to the ground. 3rd down.
Now, I know he was tackled. He was about one stiff arm away from breaking it, but today we were talking about wide receivers and blocking. Sagasumi came from the backfield, sprints up, almost reaching a safety, just trying to block for his running back. This is the kind of thing we were talking about earlier where non-seniors are trying to make seniors have that big day.
3 wide receivers set for Laverne. 3rd down and 6 from their own 17. Jordan Moore, the senior wide receiver, down low to the right. Martavius Holiday in at running back. 11:55 remaining in the first half. Albright hit as he throws. Pass is caught. Middle of the field. Sagastumi, who else? Tackled at the 45-yard line.
Might be coming back. Great throw, though. Great job by Albright. Personally, when I used to have defenders at my feet, it scares me because you don't know if they're going to hit your ankle. You don't know if they're going to bring you down like that. It's just an awkward feeling, but great job to stay in there and deliver it even though it's coming back.
Well, big play, big penalty, and Laverne has to walk all the way back. And now it's 3rd and long from their own 9-yard line.
I know it seems bad, but as a running back, you don't want to let your quarterback get killed. You already blew a block. You might as well just throw him to the ground, do whatever it takes to make sure that you don't have that big hit on your conscience.
Chapman sideline and crowd getting involved here. 3rd and long. Albright hit as he throws once again. And that one's going to be a 3rd interception by this Chapman defense. Frankie Neres, the defensive back, with the pick this time.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, Billy, but you know it's a passing down, and that gives defenses an opportunity to know that Albright doesn't really come off his 1st or 2nd read. There's a saying where quarterbacks can see only 2 or 3 receivers. You get to the NFL, they see 4 or 5, but usually high school and college, they see about 2 to 3 receivers. Albright so far seems like he only sees 1 to 2. His initial read was that hitch and go, just threw it up as a prayer. He looked as if he had a guy in the middle of the field that would have been a better option, but can't go back.
So turnover, 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 and Chapman has the ball once again. Handoff to Mendoza on the right side, picking up 2 yards on the ground, 2nd and 8.
And this is when Albright has to go to his defense and say, hey guys, I'm sorry, I know that makes 3, but you got to help me. We got to stay in this game. And this defense so far has been answering, especially that front 7.
Front 7 has been tremendous for Laverne. Only one big play on the ground thus far for Chapman.
It was even extended because of that penalty.
2nd and 8, ball spotted on the Laverne 36. This is about where Chapman started their last drive that resulted in an interception. Another handoff to Mendoza on the ground, and getting in on the tackle, Mason Montanez.
There's very few runs that you see where it's initially how it's supposed to go. And what I mean by that is zone runs, they go inside. Very few times do they actually break inside and outside runs and whatnot. A lot of the big runs you see are cutbacks when there's the option of the other hole. And this Laverne defense is doing a great job of stringing those outside runs to the outside. They're not allowing him to cut back.
Tanner Mendoza is still the running back for Chapman. Have not seen Reyes thus far. He's their lead rusher. Throws incomplete, intercepted. Raymond Morones, his 2nd pick of the day. I mean, how many does he have now?
That is 5 in 3 games. It's his 2nd today. I spoke to Raymond Morones earlier this week. As I mentioned, we played together. Our longtime coach passed away earlier last week, and I was talking to him about it. And he said, I got to play today for him. He was a big reason for why I love this sport. He's the reason that I'm still playing today in college. And no doubt in my mind, these 2 picks and hopefully more are for Big Lou.
Such a legendary coach at Charter Oak High School. Tremendous impact on yourself, on Morones, and so many different people.
He is the 6th most winningest high school coach in California history, ranked 6th. He was a very special man, and I think he'd be really happy about how Morones has been playing.
A big loss for Charter Oak and the entire community as a whole. But Morones making him smile from up above.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, Chapman's not going to decline this delay of game as they did in the beginning. This time was on Laverne. So 1st and 15. Ball spotted from the Leopards' 35-yard line now. But once again, the defense comes up with a interception. Like 4 or 5 straight turnovers.
And this is what's shocking, because I was looking at Chapman and how they played in the past. They average about 2 to 3 takeaways per game, and they don't really turn the ball over during games. That's what's amazing, as we see another one.
And Gonzalez running. Ball comes out. It looks like Chapman has it, and they do. The turnovers keep on coming, and Chapman was able to get it. Nathan Parkin got on top of the football.
I wasn't able to see the number, but a guy came behind, punched the ball out from behind, and that's how they teach it. If you're not able to bring them down, go for the ball.
Gonzalez trots off the field, unhappy with himself, as it looked like he had a great run on 1st down. 14-10 Chapman, 2nd quarter, 9:45 to go. It's a game of, it looked like it was a game of offense in the beginning, and then defense has been showing up on both sides.
I know it's senior day and we're talking about how well they're playing, but I'm excited for Laverne's future, especially with Morones coming out. He looks like a real leader for this team.
Johnston McIntyre in at quarterback, handoff to Mendoza once again, and Mendoza has nothing on the ground.
McIntyre's been doing a great job for this Chapman team. And if you're watching them run these these zone reads, he hasn't kept any, and it looks as if the defensive end is starting to ignore him. So look for them to run it maybe in this next series. Look for him to start keeping a couple, because I think he can rip a few off.
Derek Guzman on the tackle for Laverne. 2nd and 10, so Mendoza didn't get any yards on the last carry. Ball spotted at midfield. McIntyre takes the snap, the righty, escapes the pocket, has himself a good run on 2nd down, a couple yards short from 1st down, so it's going to be 3rd and short for Chapman.
Great awareness by him to escape the pocket and know right away that he goes down. I saw his eyes upfield, making sure that there was no one to throw to. One thing that I'm going to knock him for is you got to come down. You know, this is a close game. You saw how the backup was playing. He's got to be able to stay healthy this game and stay in here as long as he can.
Cameron Mooneyhan in on the tackle on number 14, Johnston McIntyre.
Wow.
That was quick. McIntyre goes down immediately. A big third down stop by the Leopards.
And that's their short yardage play. We saw it in the red zone earlier. They were about 2-3 yards away from the goal line. And that's how they try to get guys with numbers. Football's a game of numbers. You want to pull them off. But here, when you see it, Laverne was ready. You know, they brought 2 guys straight from McIntyre, and they weren't even going to give him a chance to pitch that ball off.
Owen Tapia to kick. And that one, Tapia lucky to get back on top of it. And a Leopard is gimpy on his way up. That's Gabriel Lopez, the linebacker.
We hope Lopez is okay, but that snap, a little too low, wasn't able to take it, and then when he went to run with it, he lost it. So 2 fumbles on the play. He was lucky enough to be able to jump on it because, as I think you were about to say, that could have gone for 6 the other way.
Easily.
So instead of having to start at about the 20-25, Laverne gets to start in their opponent's territory, and I think they might be able to hold this off without a turnover.
That might be a stretch for both sides right now. I mean, hot potato with the football as of late. Matthew Albright still the quarterback for Laverne. Looks like Coach Creek's going to roll with him for at least the first half. We'll see what happens in the second half. Albright on a 4-man rush, finds his receiver easily on the left side, and breaking through, still on his feet. Ball comes out again. Zach, I think you might have spoke too soon. We'll see who has it.
They
and
still
Laverne
have it.
Still has the football.
Don't go making me think it was an announcer's
Keefe.
jinx.
Dylan Keefe able to pop the ball out.
So first off, this is why you want to get the ball out of their break. He was waiting a little bit, but he had no one around him, so he was able to snap his head around, get more yardage up front. Looked like he was jogging a little bit, getting a little too fancy for my liking. I think that's why he lost it, but
Albright on 1st and goal, and he missed Sagastumi, had him wide open in the end zone on the right side and overthrew him.
and these are the throws that I'm talking about. Early in the game, we saw McIntyre not throw well on the run. Albright, when you have a guy that wide open, I don't even care about your mechanics anymore. Underhand it to him. I don't care what you do. You got to flick it to a guy like that when he is that wide open.
So 2nd and goal now from the Leopards' 5-yard line. Or rather, the Chapman's 5-yard line. Leopards looking to score and regain the lead that they once had. Albright takes a snap. It's a low one. Facing pressure up the middle, escaping towards the right side. Albright just throws it down. And faced pressure from just about everyone. Dylan Keefe, amongst other Chapman players.
That's a name we are not going to stop hearing
grill.
today. Great job by this Chapman defense coming out here, pressuring Albright. As I said earlier, I think he is just a one-read quarterback so far today. He's looked as if Holiday was his first read, didn't come off him, and then he had to escape to his right just to avoid the half of Chapman defense chasing him.
And then threw it in near Mason Thomas, who's lined up down low to the right side. Albright takes the snap, rolls out to the right, throwing it. Incomplete. Chapman had a player, Duncan Heeger, who got a hand on it. But that'll be it. Albright's going to head off. Fourth and goal. Diego Garcia comes in for a field goal. That'll bring Laverne within 1. He's 1 for 1 today. And a fake, but it looks like Chapman snuffed it out.
That didn't look like a fake to me, Billy, to be honest with you. I
Bobbled
did not.
snap.
I don't know if it was a bobbled snap or what, but the kicker didn't seem to feel comfortable enough going in to kick it.
Nathan Parkin and Dylan Keefe both pounding.
If it was supposed to be a fake, kickers usually come out a little more and try to offer some support or go out into the flat to be a receiver. And it didn't really look that well executed. If it was, to me, I think the kicker just didn't like how the ball was snapped.
But Trevor McPherson, the holder, had to get up and do anything he could.
McPherson, the freshman quarterback, who we'll see in the years to come.
Fell down. McIntyre, pass to Wyatt on the outside to the right side. Second down. There you go, Zach. Let's take a look.
Rewatch that kick. Yeah, he looked just shocked. McPherson saw two guys coming right at him. Usually when you call those fakes, you want to know the defense if they're going to be crashing on the ball, if they're going to stay back. And right there, it just looks like not the right play call for that defense.
Mendoza on the carry, picks up the first down. The chains move here. 6:30 to go in the first half. Panthers looking to extend their 4-point lead.
We're seeing very different running backs on each team. Holiday, Gonzalez, they're very much finesse runners. Of course, they keep moving their feet, but McKenzie, man, he's a brick wall. He's just running, not stopping his feet, lowers his shoulder. I really enjoy watching him.
McIntyre takes the snap. Fake handoff to Mendoza. Looking back, there's Wyatt Harden once again, or rather, Spencer Corona with his 19th reception on the year. On the left side, good enough for a Chapman Panthers first down.
Great pocket movement by McIntyre. He was keeping his eyes downfield, able to maneuver the pocket, kept going to the left, and kept going. As we take a look at that tackle, just getting him out of bounds. You don't want to see another Jordan Moore earlier to start off this game where he's able to break away. Tightrope on the out of bounds line.
Raymond Morones on the coverage on Spencer Corona. This time they hand it off to Mendoza up the middle. Robert Franklin, the first one to meet him, brings him down. That's a good first down run, picking up over half of the yardage needed.
And this is when we're going to start seeing those runs start to break. As you run the ball so many times, defenses get tired, and this Laverne defense should have been practicing for that all week. I've not a doubt in my mind they weren't, but this is when you're going to see that this offensive line for Chapman is going to start to take over.
2nd and 3 from the Leopards' 44-yard line. This time, Wyatt Harden. Don't know if he actually had it, but right now they're saying that he had it and fumbled it, and Laverne has recovered the ball. Derek Guzman was able to pick it up after the fumble. I don't know, Zach. Did it look like a catch?
To me, it looked like a catch. It looked like he was going to try to make a move with it, and he just lost it. I'm not too sure if someone touched it or what, but let's take a look.
Bang, bang play. Let's take one more look. That's a catch.
Yep, he was able to catch it out of his break. He turned around, and just as he was turning around, he's running without the ball. Now you got to be able that you secure it. Looks like he just rolled down his body, hit it with his knee, and that marks what, the 7th, 8th turnover today?
I'm losing count quickly. Shocking to say the least for both sides to be turning the ball over this amount of times. But once again, we still have a 14-10 game. Chapman with the 4-point lead, 5:09 remaining in the first half. Albright and the Leopards have yet another chance to regain the lead that they once had.
I don't like to read statistics too much, but the one you said earlier about Senior Day and Laverne, I'm starting to believe it.
So Matthew Albright on the quarterback keep, picks up 2 yards, running on the outside, gets out of bounds on the right sideline.
When you run these, you think that you have a numbers advantage to one side. So Albright's running to the right. They have an extra blocker. They're hoping he can get to the outside quick. Doesn't look as quick as I remember for some reason, but let's see if they try to keep with that or if they start going with Gonzalez and Holiday in the backfield.
On 2nd and 8 from the 44. 4 wide receivers set for Laverne. Jordan Moore and Sagastumi on the right side. As Albright takes the snap, a handoff to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez trying to break a couple of tackles, but it looks like his ankles were wrapped up pretty well by Chapman.
Great job not letting go. We always compliment them for keeping their feet going, and I was taught if you take the legs, they can't run. right? So if you're able to just keep them wrapped up, hopefully that gives them enough time for your teammates to come, not only bring them down, but maybe get the ball out too.
So we take a look. Blake Seamson, number 35,
Look, as
is
you
able
see,
to
he holds on to
dive
the
in
legs.
there. Yep.
As we have other guys, of course, Keefe's coming over trying to knock that ball out, but that's what good teams do. They try to keep guys up, hold on to them, that way they can't run, and hopefully get a turnover out of it.
Second, third hitter coming in to break the ball loose. Gonzalez, I know he fumbled earlier in the game, but probably one of the most sure-handed running backs in SCIAC. And Laverne's going to have to call a timeout with the play clock winding down and not knowing what to do on 3rd and 8. And with 3:50 remaining in the second quarter, it was a wise time to call a timeout right now.
This is what's worrisome for me for a Laverne team right now. As we said, they're not very much big play guys. Today, they've shown me that they're able to get chunks of yardage through the air. I'm glad to see it for them so far, but 3:50 left. If they don't get it right now, they're going to give it to an explosive Chapman offense. They haven't been showing it today, but they really are explosive.
Yep.
Let's say Chapman goes and scores. You know, Chapman gets the ball to start the second half. If Laverne turns it over again or something, we could just see a 14-point swing, maybe less, but it could be huge if this is a turnover or not as much yardage as they'd like.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it could be a 14-point swing as there's 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the first half with Chapman leading 14-10. And if that does happen, you're looking at 28-10, and then Laverne's back in that position where they've been in a lot of games this season where they're down big and they don't have that explosive offense to make it a game.
Even if it's 21-10, let's see Chapman gets the ball right now, they score, they end the half, and then they get the ball at the next. That's huge for them because they're going to be able to just run out the clock to start the second half, and Laverne's not really a big play team to come back from that region.
On a big 3rd and 8, Albright throwing over the middle. Sagastumi had it in his hands, and it came out incomplete over the middle. Chris Tessertis on the coverage was hounding Sagastumi.
That was a great attempt. It looked as if he had 2 attempts. He caught it initially, got his hand knocked down, almost had his right hand come underneath it, but wasn't able to come up with it. I'll compliment Albright one more time. Guy coming right up the middle, able to still step into the throw, deliver an actually pretty good ball, but not able to come up with it.
Wyatt Harden deep back to receive. Arturo Herrera Caballero in on the kick. Harden calls for the fair catch, makes it right around his own 15-yard line, and Chapman will have around 85 yards to go, but 3:40 and all 3 timeouts to work with.
This is plenty
to
of
find
time.
the end zone.
Plenty of time, Billy, for a Chapman team who runs the ball really well. And as we saw on that first drive, they throw the ball when they want. When you're able to come out and you spread 4 or 5 receivers, as they did earlier, as we said, Laverne's secondary isn't really their strength, and you can just pick and choose when you want, especially with all 3 timeouts. This is when we're going to have to see Laverne's heart on defense.
Johnson McIntyre in at quarterback for Chapman. 5 wide receivers set, empty back. The pass thrown on the left side. A juke move to get through Montanez. That's a first down for Chapman on the first play.
That was a great move, able to just one step, go, keep on running. And this is when we get those quick throws that we're talking about. When you're facing a great pressure team, if you can get some quick throws to the outside, you're going to be able to stay in this game or even take the lead by a lot more.
John Kroll on the reception. McIntyre once again an empty back. Going to take it himself and take a decent hit as well to bring up second down.
As we said earlier about pressure, when you start to have that, quarterbacks have a clock in their head. Okay, it should be about 2.5, 3 seconds if you're lucky. Great offensive line today, but they're letting some pressure go through, and that's causing McIntyre's clock to just go a little sooner, and that's why we're seeing him escape the pocket sometimes a little more than he'd like.
Cameron Mooneyhan in on the tackle. Mendoza gets tripped up across the line of scrimmage, has himself a first down. Mason Montanez able to wrap up the legs of Mendoza.
When you're able to get 5, 4, those yards whenever you want, you're able to control a game. As we see right here, right up the middle, able to get just a couple yards each and every time, 4 to 5, that's the ideal one.
1st and 10 from their own 42. Mendoza once again on the right end. tackled just shy of midfield. Mason Montanez in on the tackle alongside Cameron Mooneyhan as well.
I know earlier I said that this offensive line is going to play a big role because the Laverne defense is getting tired. It looks as if McKenzie's actually getting stronger as this game goes on. Mendoza, excuse me.
McIntyre in at quarterback, takes the snap, looking towards Harden on the left side. Pass is caught for a first down. Stays inbound, so the clock keeps going. We're at 1:47. Raymond Morones in on the tackle.
Quick throw outside, great call. Not only that, if he was able to get out of bounds, it would have been a little better for this Chapman offense, but they're still rolling.
3 wide receivers set. Harden down low to the left. Hand off to Mendoza up the middle. And Mendoza tackled by a host of Leopards. Getting there first was Kerry Sanders.
As we see the tempo staying up. And this is what Laverne's offense usually likes to do, and Chapman seems to just be coming out here, being able to stay on a roll. And what's great is you don't know if they're going to run or pass the ball, especially in this 2-minute offense. That's their big key advantage.
On 2nd and 6, McIntyre escaping the pocket on the right side, still with his eyes down the field, will pick up a few yards. Just shy of the first down, 3rd and 1.
And this is what's great. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and you run out of bounds. You have a little over a minute left, 1:05. You give your coaching staff a chance to settle down a bit, not feel as much pressure with the clock counting down, and decide a play. And what's awesome is, especially with 3 timeouts left, you're not handcuffed. You don't have to go for the end zone. You don't have to go to the sideline. You know, you can choose a play that you have, doesn't matter what kind.
Yeah. 1:05. And we're going to get a timeout. The defense and Laverne will use their 2nd timeout on a big 3rd and 1 play for this Chapman team. A big old saying, bend but don't break, and Laverne's defense is trying to do that right now.
They've been bending a lot today, and then all of a sudden they snap right back with all those turnovers they've been having. But this is when we're going to see that film aspect of a game. You always wonder, why do people call certain stuff? If Laverne's watched the game plan that they want, you're going to be able to see Chapman's tendencies in these 3rd and shorts.
Yep.
So then there, we're going to see Laverne. I think they're going to bring about 4 or 5 right now. They're going to try to pressure up the middle, and they're going to try to make sure that they don't have any runs in between the tackles. But, you know, we're going to see if Chapman's able to throw something outside that Laverne's been having trouble defending, or what they're going to come out with.
And from 38 yards out from the end zone, it's probably 4 down territory, minute to go, especially knowing Laverne doesn't have a deep threat, easy offense to go to, and only 1 timeout left now. So on 3rd and 2, ball spotted on the Laverne 38, and some flags before the snap.
Laverne, 3rd charge, final timeout.
Laverne didn't like what was going on there. No flags on the play. The whistles came before the snap, and Laverne using their last charge timeout of the first half.
It looked as if they were going to have a jet sweep come across. I don't know if he was going to give it to him or not. He heard the whistle, so I think he held on to the ball, but it would have been a pretty decent play call as they had the box pretty much packed, able to get to that outside, maybe get 2 yards or more.
Would have been Nico Regis who was coming across on that jet sweep that you mentioned, Zach.
What are you calling if you're Chapman?
I'd say just about anything, and they might be safe.
I'd call play action. I'd give a little flash to Mendoza. Hopefully that would draw in my linebackers, and I'd throw something right behind him.
Raymond Morones on the coverage of Wyatt Harding down low to the right. A handoff to Mendoza, and Robert Franklin, the first one to greet him. 4th down coming up for Chapman.
And as I was saying earlier, this Laverne defense didn't want to allow anything inside the tackles. You saw them bringing inside the box. It looked like they had no safeties over the top. Everyone was within 7 yards of the line. And when you have that, as you see right here, they're not letting anything inside.
A loss of 1 on the play. Ball spotted on the Panthers' 35-yard line. Timeout Chapman on 4th and 2. Well, the run didn't work on 3rd down. Do you change your philosophy on 4th?
If it was my philosophy, no. I would have went with the play action. I had everyone inside the box. I would have added an extra receiver, or I would have stayed with my 2 tight ends, 2 receiver set, and I actually would have had 2 receivers on the same side with a tight end. I would get creative, and I would try to win the numbers match. But if I'm Chapman, they've been running the ball very well throughout the season. Today, you know, we see flashes of greatness with Mendoza. I'd try to work something outside. That's just me, though.
Well, we'll see what Chapman does as the timeout comes to an end. Chapman does have 2 more timeouts and 40 seconds to work with. They've got 34 yards before reaching the end zone, but 2 before they get a fresh set of downs.
As long as they don't come out with their quarterback option again, they should be okay.
14-10, Panthers with a 4-point lead over the Leopards in the first half of senior day here at Ortmayer Stadium in Laverne, California. Sunny skies, 84 degrees, and a great football game thus far through the first half.
Laverne, it seems like they have everyone inside, but it looks as if they're going to drop back.
5 wide receivers set. Laverne sends just about everybody. Passes caught, first down over the middle to John Krull.
Was able to hit that soft spot right there on the seam. When you spread this team out, like I said earlier, Laverne secondary, they've looked great today, but this is the weakness of that team.
McIntyre's got to hurry up. 27 seconds and counting. 5 wide receiver set once again. Another 5-man rush. This time McIntyre goes down.
Great pressure by this Laverne team, knowing that they're going to come out and pass. There seemed as if there was a little miscommunication on some routes as we had 2 posts coming at each other. I'm not sure if they were trying to cross or not, but it seemed as if they ran right into each other.
Isaac Sanchez, a part of the 5-man rush that got to McIntyre and brought him down. That sets them well back to the 35-yard line. They got to get to the 17-yard line. 21 seconds remaining. It'll be 2nd and long, and Chapman does have 1 more timeout remaining.
Laverne should stay with this defensive philosophy the rest of this half, not the rest of the game. If you get too predictable, it's an issue. But for right now, if you look right here, they kept everything inside, and that's what you want. We have McIntyre who's able to escape. We've seen it, but if you have your defensive ends, push him inside and stay inside the pocket, he's going to have to step up and deliver the ball. Keep bringing 5, drop back 6, or maybe you have a robber in the middle of the field, depending on what they've had, but look for them to try to keep everything inside the pocket.
2nd and 17 for Chapman. Ball spotted on the 35. McIntyre takes a snap, fakes the handoff, pass to Mendoza. Mendoza still running, gets the first down, jumps over a Leopard into the end zone. Touchdown, Mendoza. 2nd and 17. He goes 35 yards on the reception. And the Panthers strike again here to add to their lead.
I've said this so many times today, Billy. If you watch right here, who's blocking? We see some receivers getting down there. Yes, it was a screen. The line was getting in front of them. We're starting to see this receiving core get in, get a little physical, and block downfield. Laverne's been bringing 5 this drive. How do you counteract that? Quick little screen to maybe the most dangerous guy on the field for them.
Ken Barrel in on the point after. For Chapman, drills the point after. Scores now 21-10, Chapman over Laverne with 11 seconds to go in the first half.
And this is that 14-point swing I'm talking about. They milk about 3 minutes, 30 seconds in this half. Going to kick the ball off. We're going to see Laverne maybe take a knee or just run the ball, see if they can break something. But from here, Chapman gets the ball back to start the second half. And if they score there, 28-10, that's that 14-point swing, and that's when Chapman's at their best. They can just run the ball at will, throw in a couple screen passes that we've seen, and Chapman might run away with us.
So Chapman now with an 11-point lead, largest lead of the game from either side. Chapman will kick off. 11 seconds left in the first half. Had a way to respond for Chapman, and we didn't expect anything else. After going down 10-0, you're not undefeated for no reason and ranked number 15 in Division III. They responded as they were supposed to, put up 21 straight points despite quite a few amount of turnovers, but their defense has been able to get just about the same amount of turnovers as well.
You can tell they are so well coached just by the way they have the poise in these situations. As it touches the player, drops on it. We got 9 seconds left, Billy. We'll see if they just run out the clock with maybe a short run to Holiday and call it, or if they'll take a knee.
But the amount of turnovers in this game, I think just take the knee. But you never know. Especially on senior day, you get
Senior day, you get nostalgic.
some crazy plays happening.
As we've already seen. As Laverne's taking the field.
Matthew Albright in at quarterback.
And it looks as if
Coming
they're
out.
going to go into victory formation.
9 seconds left on the clock. Albright takes the snap, takes the knee, and that'll round up the first half of play. It was a great start by Laverne, able to go on it on 4th and 13 with the fake attempt on the punt. They keep that first drive alive. They get to the end zone. They get another score after that, and then after that, Chapman, 3 straight touchdowns.
As you said earlier, they're not undefeated for no reason. You come out here and you're able to stick to your game plan, not worry so much. I've seen plenty of games where guys come out, you know, they're behind 10-0. Coaches say, well, we said we were going to stick to the run. Guess we just got to throw the ball a bunch, or vice versa. You know, they try to be so dramatic, and it helped a lot that Chapman's first score was actually that kickoff return. It was a great run, but from there, they're able to just stick with their game plan. They never seem too high, never seem too low. And that's from the coaching staff. You know, that team feeds off you. They know they've been here the entire season. You know, they've had maybe 2 close games, and they show poise every down, every game, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Well, from early on, Chapman on their first drive, they threw the ball 4 different times. They went 12 of 13 through the air for McIntyre. Vettel unable to complete a pass, went 0 for 5. To take a look at the rushing play, they committed to the rush despite that first drive. They ran the ball 24 times, Zach, and a total of 67 yards. And it doesn't look like they were running for that much, but yet they end up with near 100. And Tanner Mendoza, a big part of it, 77 yards himself.
Mendoza, I don't know why I kept saying McKenzie, but it's okay. Guess that name's in my mind. You see them just chipping away at it. There's nothing big that they do. They just block fundamentally sound, and then when Mendoza's able to get to the second level, he's punishing. If I was a corner, I wouldn't want to take him on, you know, so he's able to get those chunk yards, anywhere from 3 to 6 yards. We see he had that huge 20-yard run, but from there it's just chunk by chunk, and he's doing a great job. Look for Chapman to keep running the ball and Laverne to try to stack that box.
A small bright spot for Laverne. Albright, 6 of 16, 171 passing yards in the first half, but had 3 interceptions that costed Laverne. At halftime, Chapman with a 21-10 lead over Laverne. You're watching Skyac Football on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
To a child battling a critical illness, a wish can feel like a dream. But it's so much more. Wishes are an important part of medical treatment. A chance for kids to see themselves differently. Wishes can give kids the strength to fight, to get better. to grow up. Where there's a wish, there's a way.
The second half is just a minute away between the Chapman Panthers and the University of Laverne Leopards, Zach. As we take a look at the halftime stats, the Panthers, 220 total yards, only 67 rushing yards on the ground. They average and have hit 200 yards every single game this season. Do you see them going to the ground more in the second half?
I was a math major before, and based off those numbers, they look like they're going to reach 200 again. They were very effective with it in the first half. It didn't look like it, but I see them using it more and more just to try to slow down this pass rush.
For Laverne, 240 yards, 69 rushing yards, 171 yards through the air. When was the last time that Laverne, for a half, threw more than they rushed?
That's a great question, and I think we need to go to someone else for that answer, but very few times do we see Laverne quarterbacks come out here, step up, and just light up the air, especially in a half. And so hopefully we get to see a little more of that. I'm looking for them to reach about 250 in the air. And then the way they run the ball, it might be about a 250, 100-yard rushing game as well.
It's been a little bit sloppy, too. 4 turnovers for both sides, 3 picks, and a fumble on both sides. Can you expect more of that in the second half, or do you think they clean it up more?
It's got to be a message from both coaching staffs. You know, for Chapman, they have to say, hey, look, we're winning by 11. We can't step on ourselves. We have to be able to come out here. We have to be able to keep stepping on their throats and continue this game. For Laverne, it's, hey, we're only down by 11, and we had 4 turnovers, and one of them we were within 30 yards. You know, so you have to be able to think that for Laverne, they're coming out saying we have opportunities, we're just stepping on ourselves, and for Chapman, it's if we don't get in our own way, we'll continue to win this game and finish this season undefeated. So look for both teams to try to clean it up. I see at least one more turnover from each team, especially with the way the game's going today. You're just going to see about 10 total. So.
Well, momentum is a big thing in all sports, especially football. How big is this first drive?
For Chapman, it's huge. It's going to set the tone for not only Laverne's defense, but Laverne's offense. So if Chapman comes up here and they're winning by 18 points, it's going to be very hard to stop the rest of this game.
Nick Regas on the kickoff return. He ran one back, 93 yards in the first half for the first score for Chapman. This time he gets to around the 20-yard line and is tackled by Laverne.
As you said, this is going to be a huge first drive. Billy, I'm going to expect to see about 2 to 3 runs this first just series. Okay, this first down, we're going to see a nice 4 or 5 yard run and look for them to keep going with that. If they come out passing, I'm not going to be upset, but they have to be able to spread this team out because I don't see them completing passes with only 2 receivers. They have to get into that 4 receiver set.
McIntyre in at quarterback, 2 wide receivers set. They hand it off to the left side. Mendoza on the carry. He rushed for 77 yards in the first half and gets his 25th attempt on the ground right there.
We're going to see this power run coming in. He's coming across. We're 2 back set again. Hand the ball off. He's going to try to find at least one blocker, get behind him, and they're going to continue this whole first drive. It's going to be more than just scoring. They're going to say, we are bigger, better, and faster than you, and they're going to try to set that tone.
3 yards on the ground. McIntyre throws outside to Harden. Harden makes the catch, pushed out of bounds, but not after Corona gets the first down. Torrey Hilbert pushed him out of bounds.
I don't know if Chapman saw this coming from film or what, but Morones was actually covering, and he had a corner blitz come off. So I don't know if that was just luck or what, but they threw it right behind to a wide open hitch.
Mendoza gets a big hole on the left side. Close to a first down on first down. Gets 8 yards on the ground. Robert Bagley III in on the tackle, pushing him out of bounds.
It's just going to be physical football from here on out. Look for it to be a lot of smash mouth, just up the middle. They're going to start going outside as we're seeing early.
This time they go inside to Mendoza.
This is not a recording.
A PA announcer having a little fun here at Ortmayer Stadium.
He's got some jokes. But he's not wrong, though. It's just Mendoza, Mendoza, Mendoza. He is the bell cow for this team. 3rd and 1, you got to expect Mendoza up the middle one more time.
Ball spotted on the Chapman 44-yard line. 13:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Once more Mendoza, but this time Laverne able to break through. The front seven gets to him. Cameron Mooneyhan, the first one there.
And this is, you could see this as a fail for Chapman, but what I see is I see a setup for the next drive. We saw all of Laverne, about 9 or 10 of their players just rush to their right side. Stop the run, great job. But you saw McIntyre all by himself rolling to the right. Look for some play actions, look for him to keep some stuff. If they sell it that well, I expect them to be able to be successful with that.
Tapia's kick nearly blocked on the punt, and a great tackle, keeping Laverne, pinning them within their own 20 yards.
Torrey Hilbert, as you said, almost blocked the kick, but coming out here, that was a big swing. Laverne's going to come out here, start on about the 19-yard line, and see if they could string together a drive that'll put them within 4 points.
Recap the scoring for you quickly. Jordan Moore caught a 57-yard pass from Albright to give Laverne a 7-0 lead. Diego Garcia 19 yards out, made it 10-0 Leopards. Nico Regas 93 yards on the kickoff return to make it 10-7. Mendoza a 3-yard rush and then a 35-yard receiving touchdown to give Chapman a 21-10 lead. And that's where we are here in the third quarter, 12:36 remaining. Albright, still the quarterback for the Leopards, takes the snap. Holiday blocking for him as he rolls out to the right side. Hit as he throws, incomplete, intended for Moore.
I like that he got rid of the ball. Not trying to force nothing. He knows that they're still within this game. Don't force anything. Don't squeeze it where it's not supposed to. It's your first drive out. Try to get something positive going.
Duncan Hager in on the pressure on Matthew Albright.
I'm shocked that we still have Albright out. Not too shocked because he is playing actually exceptionally well, but Sam Taylor usually makes at least an appearance or two by this point.
More than that, it's usually like one drive, but Coach Creek rolling with Albright. This time Albright to Holiday, out in the flat, and he's tackled immediately by Sal Ochoa the third.
Sal Ochoa, been hearing that name all day. Great job by him because Holiday, very elusive as we said. Great play call getting him in a one-on-one matchup. Ochoa just making a better play.
Pass was nearly deflected. Third down and 10 after an incompletion and then a completion for no gain. 11:50 to go in the third quarter of the last SCIAC game for both teams. Albright facing pressure, throws, passes caught by Laverne, breaking a few tackles, got a few blocks, gets the first down across the 40, near the 45-yard line. Sometimes you throw up a prayer and sometimes they're answered.
And that was definitely a prayer. I don't understand what that concept was supposed to be. We had two guys in the same spot. We have Albright committing a mortal sin, throwing across his body in the middle of the field, and he's rewarded for it. Should have been his fourth interception of the day, but Laverne getting lucky with that one.
Nick Kimball on the reception, just beat Keefe to the ball.
Chief Keefe.
3 wide receivers set. Jordan Moore, who has the only receiving touchdown for Laverne in this game, set up down low to the right. Albright takes the snap, facing a lot of pressure, gets hit, and is sacked. Duncan Hager getting to him right away.
Untouched off the side, but great job by Albright to be able to stay on top of that ball. Had it only in one hand, didn't really protect it, worried me for a little bit, but that one's got to hurt. It's a free run right at you.
Right at his shins, he went down. Hager's been getting there a lot of times, easily.
Either side, we've either had him or Keefe just coming off either or side. Look for Laverne to call a timeout as the tight end doesn't know where he's lining up. No, they're going to stick with it.
Play clock down to 3 seconds. Albright takes the snap, handoff to Holiday up the middle. And Holiday gets a few yards back. Jonathan Bunel.
It looks as if Chapman has the ball, but the referee's going to call him down. Might have been out after the fact, but great running by Holiday, just trying to get as many yards as we can. But tell me for this before, Billy. 3rd and long, passing down, And this is when we've seen a lot of Albright's interceptions.
A lot of trouble right here. 3rd and 15. Ball spotted around the Leopards' 40-yard line. 4 wide receiver set. Holiday in the backfield. Moves over to Albright's left. A bad snap. Albright is just going to have to lay on it and still can't get to it. Finally gets to it. That's going to bring up 4th down. Jonathan Bunel immediately got to Albright once again.
Sometimes you can help yourself, and sometimes you just step on yourself. And that was one of those moments. You got to be able, in 3rd and long situations, at least throw the ball away and live another play. You know, but you're here, fumble the snap, you're back about another 20 yards, 15. You're not helping your defense out at all.
Herrera Caballero in on the punt. Takes a bounce. Laverne recovers it on the 35-yard line, so Chapman will set up 1st and 10 from their own 35. Chapman in their white on black uniforms, working from right to left on your screen. Laverne in their orange jerseys on green bottoms.
The one thing that we have to say about this Laverne defense, Chapman's offense has been able to start on the 30 or closer a majority of today. Laverne's been able to stop them, and we keep saying this is a high-power offense, and so far, Laverne's been able to keep them in check.
Here we go. McIntyre handoff to the right side for Chapman. Connor Johnson in on the tackle.
Great run. Looked like it was going to be stagnant. He was going laterally, and then all of a sudden able to put his foot in the ground, make a spin, and get a couple yards.
There's Damon Martin Bostic on the carry. Only his 5th carry all season.
Did the most with it.
Spencer Corona, the lone receiver, down low to the left. And McIntyre on the keep this time. Gets the 1st down.
And that's what I was telling you about earlier, Billy. He had such a wide open hole. I don't even know if you want to call that a hole. That's just half the field that he had. He was able to run and escape. I was hoping that he was going to have a crosser come from the backside, be able to hit him for a nice gain, but a 1st down's a 1st down, and it was great running by him.
Robert Franklin pushed him out of bounds. 1st and 10 now from their own 48. A handoff to Mendoza up the middle. Cameron Mooneyhan and Mikey Bloomfield in on the tackle.
And this is what I'm shocked about most by Mendoza. He had a guy at his feet in the backfield, should have been tackled for no gain or for about a yard loss. And he comes out here and he gains about 5 or 6.
2nd and 5 for Chapman. 7:38 to go in the 3rd quarter. Chapman looking to add to their 11-point lead. It's 21-10.
The split backfield's been working for him.
McIntyre keeps and then throws incomplete. Connor Johnson on the coverage to bring up 3rd down.
We're seeing more play action that I wish we got to see in the 1st half, but right now they're not letting it develop as much. I know there was a guy in his face, but when you do it, you got to be able to give your receiver a chance, and the guy was all draped on him. I understand that he threw it only where he could catch it, but you got to be able to come up with better developed play action plays.
Single back, 3 wide receiver set. McIntyre taking the snap, facing pressure. Escapes up the middle, close to a 1st down. Tackled by Derek Shea.
Doesn't look like he'll have it. Let's see if Chapman decides to go for it.
It'll be about 4th and 1. Offense is staying on the field at the moment. And the officials are going to measure it here. It was pretty close.
It looks very close. It's about 2 feet, a foot. And the way they've been running the ball, I don't want to see him get cute. I don't want to see anything outside the tackles. I want to see him up front, up the middle, and I want to see the coach say, hey, my offensive line's tougher than your defensive line, and just try to get a push.
And it looks to be just short. 4th and inches.
Bob Owens has a decision. As we see the offense getting excited, pumping themselves up, and they're going to come out here for a big 4th and short, Billy.
Yeah, 7:08 to go in the third quarter, but a huge play for both teams. 4th and inches. McIntyre leading the team back on the field. Play clock down to 15 seconds. 2 wide receivers set. Mendoza, the running back alongside him. Then we're going to have a timeout, Chapman.
This is huge because a lot of times in the past, especially the past 2-3 seasons, this Laverne defense and team as a whole has been penalized a lot. We've seen them lose a lot of games because of not being disciplined. And in this situation, 4th and short, you still have a shot at the game. To not jump off sides in this situation, yeah, I've loved watching it because I'm starting to see more and more discipline this year so far.
It's the most penalized team for 2 straight years in SCIAC, and from the beginning of this year, they were headed towards that trend once again, but they've cleaned things up, and especially in this game, very few penalties, if any, from both sides of the football.
Coach Creek, I've talked to him quite a bit, and it's all about culture. That's the big thing. You want to make sure your guys mesh, chemistry is there, but you want to make sure that you're a family. And you're starting to see that culture that he's talking about. It gets bigger and bigger. You see the guys, they're lifting each other up, they're helping each other out. You know, we're seeing that family, that unity, and that culture goes into play, just like that we just saw.
Well, 6:50 to go in the third quarter. McIntyre comes under center this time, keeps it himself, pushing forward, and it looks like the line got him there for the first down.
That was not going to be a first down until we have Mendoza in the backfield come and push McIntyre through the line for that first down.
Sometimes you need an extra help, and Mendoza was there to push on McIntyre. First down for Chapman. They keep the drive alive. Ball spotted now at the Leopards' 40-yard line. A little bit of a high snap. Mendoza will take it on the ground. Picks up around 7 yards, 2nd and 3. Tackle made by Mason Montanez.
And they're going to keep being physical, Billy. You asked if they're going to keep going for that 200-yard rushing. I said yes, and I'm looking like I'm going to be right. As we can see, just absolutely up front, going up the middle, and they're going to keep going.
Fake handoff here. McIntyre looking down the field, and then will keep it himself. Got hit around the legs pretty hard, gets the first down. Tackle made at the 28-yard line by Montanez once again for the Leopards.
Number 9, Damian Martin, looked as if he was open, coming over the middle, but as I was telling you earlier, as a quarterback, you have that clock in your head, and you do not want to get hit from behind. It is not a good feeling. So able to get something out of what the play was there. Could have gotten a lot more, but able to make some positive growth out of that play.
1st and 10 from the Leopards' 28-yard line. Chapman with an 11-point lead, looking to add to it. Mendoza up the middle, has a big hole. Once again, 7 or 8 yards on first down.
And this is what you were talking about. You said it doesn't look like they're dominating running the ball, you know, and it's because we don't see big play. But when you have these runs, as you see, just the quick 5 to 8 yards, 3 to 5 yards, something like that, it gets you going. McIntyre with the keep.
McIntyre almost got to the house on that one right there.
Dude, I got excited. I saw him coming, and it was those plays, you're setting it up. You don't want to keep it all the time, but when he did,
that's daylight.
No one even knew that he had it.
It is daylight. 1st and goal for Chapman. The Laverne defense is bending. Mendoza on the carry up the middle. Stopped by Connor Johnson and Mikey Bloomfield and Kerry Sanders. A lot of Leopards getting in on Mendoza. They keep going to that. He's going to be wide open once again here, maybe on 3rd down.
Yeah, I got a little too excited when I saw that play, Billy. You saw me getting a little antsy, but it's things like that where you keep running it. Mendoza's having a great day. Defensive ends want to crash in and make sure he doesn't do that. And then McIntyre pretty soon is going to call his own number and just jog into the end zone untouched.
2nd and goal from 4 yards out. 4:15 to go in the third quarter. Chapman looking for their 4th touchdown of the game. A little pitch play to the left side. Mendoza untouched in the end zone. 2nd rushing touchdown. 3rd touchdown today for Mendoza.
We saw that exact same play earlier, Billy, just to the right, and I don't know if the change of sides played a difference for that Laverne team, but they stopped it a couple times after that touchdown. And right now able to go right back to that play, different side, and come up with that touchdown for the 14-point swing.
So take a look at the replay. Easy decision by McIntyre to pitch it off to the left, and Mendoza untouched into the end zone. Point after is drilled, 28-10. You talked about a 14-point swing, and Chapman has it right now.
Yeah, that's something that always is huge in that opening decision. You have the coin flip. I always chose to kick it off because I think that my offense and my defense are best enough to get a stop, get the ball, go into the second half and have the ball, and that's what Chapman did today. They came out here, looked a little shaky, started off on an 0-10 run, and they're on a 28-0 run since then.
28 unanswered points for the Panthers. And Laverne is down. They'll get the ball here, but with a lot of work to do. 4:06 to go in the third quarter. It's been all Chapman for about the last 2+ quarters.
Chapman's been looking good. Mendoza, I think he might be my favorite player on the field right now. He's coming out there looking really good in between the tackles, helping his team wherever he can. You know, it's not only what you do when it's your time to shine, it's doing your job. And he did a lot of that last drive.
Owen Tapia in on the kickoff. And Laverne corrals it from their own 5-yard line, running it out. Getting to the 20-yard line for the Leopards.
Laverne's going to start out this drive down by 18, and this is when we're going to see if we see a switch. Albright started off the game really hot, has had 3 picks since the beginning. See if Taylor comes out, gives this team a spark.
And it's Albright once again.
Hopefully he can keep it together. Just make some quick decisions. You know, not everything has to be a touchdown, but at least get a hitch, a slant, something that just gets him in a rhythm.
James Gonzalez ran the ball well in the first half, comes out here in this second drive for Laverne in the second half, and Gonzalez gets a big hole, immediately running into the secondary across midfield, breaking through all the way to the 30, and the 35 is dragged down.
I've never seen human legs move that fast. That was impressive. You see right here, he was able to just blow right through the hole untouched until about 25 yards downfield. Held on to him. He was able to get an extra 5 while being dragged down.
A largest gain for Laverne on the ground. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Chapman 24-yard line. Chapman uses their second charge time out of the second half.
And you know, it's when you have someone who blasts right through there, stopped, that defense looked gassed, right? And we're lucky enough that we have a canopy right above us, but it is hot out here.
It is hot.
So as you see, we got some wet towels out there for the team players. We got guys out there just trying to take care of themselves. That turf is 10 to 15 degrees hotter than what we feel right now. So when you have that, guys are out there just dogging it because it's so hot that when you have a big play like that, you got to take some time, just get some water for your team and everything else.
Take a look at the pep band for ULV, pumping up the crowd, pumping up the players after a big play. James Gonzalez, who else? He's been their go-to player for about 2 years plus, and he breaks through on a big rush. Gonzalez now with 104 rushing yards on the game. That last one, 55 yards on the ground.
Great run.
Gonzalez stays out there. 3 wide receivers set. Albright in at quarterback, 1st and 10 from the Chapman 24. Albright takes the snap, immediately hands it off to Gonzalez, and a tackle by Chapman. Immediately, Cody Masterson, the defensive lineman.
If they can't stop it, you keep running it. I like the decision to run the ball with Gonzalez. I maybe don't like running to the outside. You know, I like him downhill. I like his ability to hit a hole one step, be able to make a move. But, you know, I like the decision to go with Gonzalez there.
No gain on the play to bring up 2nd down. They lose about 2 yards, 2nd and 12. Ball spotted on the 28. Jordan Moore down low to the right. Albright looks left, throws left, passes caught and completed to Sagastumi. Sal Ochoa the third on the coverage and the tackle.
Those are the plays that I was telling you about earlier. I want to see him get in a rhythm. So those quick 1, 2, 3 ball out, 1, 2, 3 ball out, get some screens going, hitches, quick things that he doesn't really have to think about to be able to get him into a rhythm and be able to deliver the ball.
Third down for Laverne. They trail by 18, desperately needing to find the end zone to put some points on the board and stick with this Chapman team with 2:20 to go in the third. Dangerous pass, but it looks like it's caught by Jordan Moore, or rather Sagastumi. Frankie Nair is on the coverage.
And it wasn't a good decision, but it was good ball placement. If you see 1, 2, 3 ball out, hit him on the seam, hit him right where he needed to be. Dangerous, ill-advised throw, but he was able to pay off.
Nathaniel Sagastumi is a clutch player, comes up with big catches all the time, and one right there where they desperately needed on third down to bring up first and goal, 4 yards out from the 4-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Sam Taylor was in there this time, and Gonzalez couldn't find the end zone.
And this is when we're going to see physicality again. Both teams very strong up front. As we see, it looks like a whole platoon switch. Getting some big boys up front for this Laverne team. Going to try to make their very best push up front, get those 2, 3 yards needed.
That was the first time we saw Sam Taylor for a play, but now Albright's back out there.
Gets a lot of his work on the ground.
A couple of wide receivers set for Laverne. Mason Thomas alone on the left corner, and Jordan Moore down low to the right. A handoff up the middle for Gonzalez, staying on his feet. Getting pushed down to the floor, Ochoa the third to bring up third down.
Between Ochoa and Keefe, this defense is doing a great job of, you're saying bend, don't break. They have been bending this drive, and it looks like they're on the verge of breaking. We'll see.
Still 3 yards out on a big third down play. Albright takes the snap. They give it to Gonzalez once more, and the defense holds him again.
It looked as if there was a hole, but it looks as if the left guard got pushed back into him, causing him to not be able to get that full head of steam going.
Isaac Edwards and Cody Masterson getting to Gonzalez. Take a look, Cody Masterson. Cody Masterson getting to Gonzalez right away. You saw the hole right there closed up immediately. As the third quarter comes to an end, the Panthers 28, the Leopards 10. You're watching SCIAC football on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
I like the decision to not run a play right now, Billy.
Tens of millions of us took part in the Ice Bucket Challenge for ALS. Thanks to the Ice Bucket Challenge, new ALS genes have been identified, new therapies are being developed, and new technologies are being designed to help people with ALS. But we need to keep the momentum going until there is a cure. Are you still up for the challenge? To learn more, visit challengeals.org.
Fourth quarter here at Ortmayer Stadium, Panthers 28, Leopards 10. Laverne on the edge of scoring. Down by 18, fourth and goal, 3 yards out. Matthew Albright and James Gonzalez come out to lead this Laverne offense.
Great decision to not run a play at the end of that quarter. It takes some time to decide right now. We're going to see that push. I'm hoping that they don't put it in the air with the way Albright's been having his decisions so far today.
Four wide receivers set, three to the right. Albright takes the snap, throws it low, caught by Gonzalez, dives into the end zone, touchdown, Laverne.
Gonzalez for the score.
Great body control, Billy. I don't know if you saw that. Looked as if he was stumbling when he caught the ball. Once he caught it, able to maintain his body, get the ball over the line. and give them their second receiving touchdown of the day.
Diego Garcia in on the point after. It was a short throw, and Gonzalez able to grab it. It was very close to touching the ground. Diving into the end zone, Laverne keeping with this Chapman team as Garcia's point after is through the uprights, and it's an 11-point game once again, 28-17.
Gonzalez, that was fantastic body control. I'm still a little bit in shock.
.56 to go in the game. 28-17. Now the Laverne defense has to come up with a stop.
This game a little closer than most people expected today, Billy. They thought we were going to see a middle of the pack 4-5 Laverne team facing an undefeated Chapman team who looks great. They look great on paper. Coming into today, I was expecting a little more offensively. The defense has not disappointed me so far today, but I don't know. What you see on the field doesn't match that score, Billy.
I'll tell you what, I thought it was going to be a blowout. Chapman was going to come in here, make Ortmayer their field, and have an undefeated SCIAC run. But Laverne has hung tough. Senior day. They've gotten the juice from the crowd and the juice from the players. Here's Wyatt on the return. Brought down hard at the 28-yard line by Cole Roberts for Laverne.
Had a little bit of extracurricular going on at the bottom of that pile, but when you get in these close games, division games for a decision of the SCIAC title,
and when teams are out of the SCIAC race, you always want to play spoiler no matter what.
well, it doesn't even have to do with that. You just want to win, you know?
Nick Callan in at running back for the Panthers. McIntyre keeps it, throws complete to Corona over the middle. Robert Franklin on the tackle. The Corona from McIntyre for a first down, tackle at the 40.
And that play action is what I was talking about. You don't want to hold on to the ball too long. You give it a little flash. Linebackers come in because of how well you've been running the ball. You throw it behind. Tough tackle by Bobby Franklin, though.
The keep by McIntyre runs right into a Leopard. Connor Johnson on the tackle, along with Cameron Mooneyhan.
Great read. Connor Johnson came over the top, noticed that McIntyre held onto the ball, came right into the hole where McIntyre looked like he could have got a couple more, was able to stop him.
McIntyre picks up 4 to bring up 2nd and 6. Ball spotted at the Chapman 46-yard line. McIntyre takes the snap, a handoff to Callan up the middle, tackled at the 50-yard line. Robert Franklin in on the tackle once again. Good enough for a first down. Ball spotted into Laverne territory on the 48.
As you mentioned, Callan with the run there. This team doesn't show up on stat sheets individually, and that's because so many people can do so well for this team. Callan, Mendoza, both great running backs for this team.
Callan on the ground once more. Picks up about a yard. Mason Montanez on the tackle.
This Laverne defense I've been pleasantly surprised with today is fundamentally sound tackling. You know, we've seen a lot of guys in the past where it's just head low, trying to make the big hit, and then they just run right after him. You know, you want to be able to wrap up, bring them to the floor, and I think that's what's kept Chapman from having those big play opportunities.
McIntyre throws it outside. Corona once again working on Morones.
And I know that's a win for Chapman, but Morones playing about 6 yards off, kept the ball in front of him. Yeah, you gave him a first down, but when your team's asking you to play off and you keep everything in front of you, you're doing your job, but I wish he would do a little more disguising. You know, come down, bail, come up, you know, just do something that doesn't give him an easy read.
1st and 10 from the 42. As Callan holds it up the middle. Tackled by Connor Johnson.
This front seven, they're my MVP today. They're doing such a great job making sure nothing goes by them, keeping that pressure applied on McIntyre, and they're the reason that they've been staying in this game so long.
That and the 4 takeaways that they had in the first half. Empty backfield, 5 wide receiver set. McIntyre with the high snap, looks right, throws right immediately to Corona. Pass is complete and pushed out of bounds. 3rd down coming up. Robert Bagley the 3rd with the push out of bounds.
Bagley did a great job of recognizing the screen, read the quarterback's eyes, and bolted right to the outside to make sure that that was as minimal of a gain as possible.
3rd and 2 from the Chapman 30-yard line on the Leopard side. McIntyre, junior quarterback, takes the snap, rolls out to the right, gets blocking, has the 1st down.
Grabbing at the ankles, making sure that McIntyre was not able to get out of that. And it's little plays like that, Billy, where if you reach them before the corner reaches them, you're able to stop a 1st down, you're able to stop a score. It's just little things like that that are keeping them here.
1st and 10 now from the Leopards' 24-yard line. Laverne just scored a touchdown. Chapman trying to answer right back. It's 28-17 as the Panthers have an 11-point lead. 4th quarter, 10:50 to go in the game. 3 wide receivers set. Mendoza back in there, gets the handoff and picks up maybe a yard.
When you get into such a rhythm and you're just trying to run out the clock, you're trying to sustain this physicality, you start to ignore the passing game. And if you looked at the top, we had a 2 receiver set against 1 corner. There didn't seem like the linebacker was going to come out to the flat there. And if they're able to start to open up and not be so predictable, this game could be put away very soon.
Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was it for Mendoza. Mendoza still out there now as Callan has gone to the sideline. 3 wide receivers set, 2 to the left of McIntyre. Corona, the lone one, down low to the right. McIntyre takes the snap, looks right, throws right to Corona. Intercepted by the Leopards. Raymond Morones, Zach, his 3rd pick today. To take a look at the replay, it was intended for Corona, and Morones was the only one there.
Doing a great job today. He's always been very fundamentally sound when it comes to reading a quarterback's eyes. He was one when he was younger. He understands how a quarterback sets up, how the shoulder means something, their decision making, and it shows today, especially on Saturdays. He's doing a great job, lights out. He's keeping this team in it.
Just exciting what he could do next year. Laverne's has a long way to go, 97 yards as they take over here. 1st and 10 from their own 3. Albright at quarterback. He's well into his own end zone. A handoff. Martavius Holiday running up the middle to get a few more breathing yards for Albright.
So far, it seems as if this Chapman defense is leaving the number 2 uncovered. And the slot looks as if he has about 10 yards off. And if you can just get him a quick little hitch, something going that gets him there, you start to draw more people's attention to the receiver instead of that running game that they love so much.
Duncan Hager in on the tackle. Gonzalez comes in here on 2nd down. Albright with the quick throw out to the right side. Pass is caught and complete, pushed out of bounds. Hunter Hosoda on the tackle.
And it's that slot receiver who had so much room. He was able to go out in space, wasn't able to make a move with it. Got as much as he could, though.
Daniel Sagastumi on the reception. The leading receiver today for the Leopards.
Watch Keefe off the edge.
Albright takes the snap, faces pressure up the middle, escapes, and falls down picking up a few yards.
Albright on the keeper.
Jonathan Bunel on the tackle. That's going to bring up 4th down.
Interesting play call. I'm not sure if they're just trying to make enough room for a punt or if they want to go for it. And I understand that there's 8 minutes left in this 4th quarter. But you got to come up with something that gets you a little more room and ability.
It's go time.
To come up today.
Go time right here, 4th and 3. Ball spotted on the 10. Play clock down to 7. And we got a timeout by Laverne. 8:01 remaining in the game, 28-17. Is it time to go for it?
You have to. There's no way that you're going to be able to stop them twice and get the ball back with enough time. You know, it's 4th and 3. I'd like to see something where they're getting different guys into the action. Okay, I've yet to see a tight end used. I've yet to see that slot come across. I understand Albright isn't good throwing on the run, so you have to be able to find ways where you can get your guys in a matchup. Jordan Moore's been looking good today. Klein came up with a few throws. Albright has to be able to step up and show that senior leadership that he has.
Would you go to Sam Taylor in a situation like this?
No, he's came in for what, 1-2 plays?
One play.
He came in for one play. He handed it off. His arm's not there. He's not in a rhythm. I haven't seen him going on the sideline as much. Gave Albright all the snaps today, majority of them except for one. You live and die by him.
Well,
it's a 50-50.
And I'm shut out again.
They got Arturo Herrera Caballero now. So it looks like after the timeout, Coach Creek's going to say, let's punt it, unless we have some trickery.
Coach Creek has faith in his defense. This punt says that he thinks they can stop Chapman on about 3 downs.
Fair catch, and it was muffed, and Laverne recovered the football.
Holy moly, Billy. It touched his hand, called for a fair catch, fell right out of his hands, and Laverne was able to jump right on top of the ball.
Still waiting for the signal, but we saw Laverne jumped on it. And now they get the signal.
And I guess that's a better pass play than I could have came up with. As we see the punt come up, calls for the fair catch. Ball touches his hand. And once the ball touches his hand, it is a live ball, Billy.
There's Gary Bajorias able to get to the ball. Oh, that's one way to keep the drive alive. 1st and 10. Ball spotted on the 49-yard line.
Better call than my pass play.
7:53 to go in the game. The Leopards sideline is awake. The crowd's awake once again. Albright throwing it to Jordan Moore. Moore hit as he caught it and dragged down by Nathan Parkin.
Getting that forward progress. About a gain of 7, able to step up here. These are the quick throws that Albright is able to complete quick and accurately. And look for him to actually come down here. I see him being able to lead them to at least the red zone.
They give Moore 5 yards on the reception. 2nd and 5, 7:20 to go in the game. 28-17, Chapman with the lead. The Leopards can bring the score to within 1 possession if they can find the end zone.
Chapman stayed in this too high look, trying to give as much help as they can over to Moore.
Latavius Holiday on the rush, and nothing there. Cody Masterson on the tackle.
Quick run, hoping that you can get at least a couple yards to make it 3rd and manageable in a run situation, but we have about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 here. And then now Albright most possibly has to throw the ball here.
On 3rd and 5. We'll see what they do. Artavius Holiday still in at running back. Has not been himself today, only 19 yards on the ground. Picks up a block, throwing it, finding his receiver, Mason Thomas alone in the middle of the field. Tackled by Sal Ochoa. Great throw, great find.
I told you earlier, Chapman's been in this too high look, and when you have that, middle of the field is open. So when you have him cutting across that safety's face, that's what's going to happen. Great call.
Albright to Mason Thomas. Thomas, his first reception of the game. The senior himself with the big play there on third down. 1st and 10 now from the Chapman 25-yard line. 5:45 to go in the game. They stick it to Holiday on the ground, and Holiday loses a yard.
Holiday, as you said, has not been himself today, Billy. With that loss of a yard, it's been about 18 yards on the ground. Not being able to be that elusive self.
Blake Seamson on the tackle on Holiday. Bring up 2nd down. The clock continues to go. 5:20 left in the game. 3 wide receivers set. Albright takes a look at the sideline. Holiday moves over to the right. And now with the play clock down to 1 second, they barely get the play off as Albright running, throwing, not near anybody, towards the sideline to throw it away. 3rd down.
Able to get outside the pocket, throw it away. There's moments as a quarterback where you have to understand the route concepts that are out there. And so I know sometimes you can't help which way you roll out to, but when you roll out to the right, it's either you got enough guys over there or your receivers have to start going in that kind of concept where you flush towards your quarterback.
3rd and 10, 4:56 to go from the 25-yard line. Laverne down 28-17 in the 4th quarter. Chapman rushes. Albright throws incomplete over the middle to bring up 4th down.
Good job on pocket awareness, stepping up in the pocket and finding the receiver that he wanted. You just got to take a little bit off. I think I heard the ball hit his forearm up from here. Bounced right off, a little too hard for him to have.
Take a look. Albright takes the snap, faces a lot of pressure, throws incomplete to Kimball.
A little behind him too.
Now Diego Garcia with the game on his foot right now, trying to make it a 1-possession game. The kick has the distance, but it doesn't find the middle of the uprights as Diego Garcia misses a clutch field goal there. Chapman will take over, 28-17 the score.
Wide left as it seemed, enough leg as you said. Looked as if it could have had enough distance from 50, but just not on target.
(28-17) is the score, 4:47. And now Chapman can go to their bread and butter and just run the ball.
4 minutes, 47 seconds. If Chapman's able to get a 1st down or 2, looks like it's going to be very difficult for Laverne to come back.
Laverne with only 2 timeouts. Hand off to Mendoza. Mendoza gets the 1st down right there. Montanez and Mooneyhan on the tackle.
Mendoza just going through the hole, able to get to the 2nd level, brought down for a 1st down. Great running by him all day.
Mendoza with 30 rushes, 115 yards on the ground, a long for 22. Has 2 rushing touchdowns to go along with a 35-yard receiving touchdown. Has outscored the Leopard team himself with 3 scores. 28-17, McIntyre takes the snap, a handoff to Mendoza on the inside to the right. Connor Johnson in on the tackle.
And now we're going to another 2-back set, but this time they now have a full-back instead of split-back, and this pretty much sums up, as we have an injury on the field, pretty much sums up that Chapman thinks that they have this game.
Injury timeout as Kevin Cabrera, the junior defensive lineman, is very slow to get up and is going to be kind of helped off the field a little bit, able to walk with his own strength off the field.
Looks like he got up pretty quick after the initial trainers came out. You hope that he's okay in this final season, or in this final game, excuse me.
3:53 to go in the game. It'll be 2nd and 8 from the Chapman 38-yard line. Take a look at some of the stats. 172 rushing yards, so it's 28 yards more, and the streak continues for Chapman.
And I think that's the number that you're most happy with today.
It was just interesting to see if they could continue it or not. I mean, that's really impressive to go
a whole season of having over 200 rushing yards. That's pretty interesting.
Stay on the ground as there's a little bit of some extracurriculars going on here. Cameron Mooneyhan on the tackle. Mendoza underneath the pile finally gets up. 3rd down coming up.
They're going to keep the ball on the ground. They are more than likely going to reach the milestone that you'd love to see. And I think it'd be awesome if Mendoza is the guy that gets to do it.
2 minutes, 42 seconds left and counting. Chapman looking for an undefeated SCIAC run here in 2019. Quick throw to Spencer Corona on a screen, and he's got nothing but daylight in front of him. He's pushed out of bounds. Derek Guzman was able to get there. Saved the day for Laverne momentarily, but the clock continues to go. A new fresh set of downs.
Chapman, quick screens all day, and they've been making money off it. If we see right here, quick step up front, gets the ball, stutter steps a little bit, makes one move, and then looks like he was going to be gone, but as you said, Guzman was able to take him out just before. And with that, it looks as if Chapman is going to go in for another score, but the way today's been going, you're never too sure.
Minute 56 to go, 1st and goal, 8 yards away. Mendoza on the carry, gets tripped over and falls down to bring up 2nd and goal.
Chapman has an 11-point lead with 1 minute and 40 seconds left, Billy. And with that, I remember earlier we were saying that if they lost, Redlands had a chance to tie with them, maybe share that SCIAC moment. But Redlands right now is leading Occidental 67-12.
Goodness.
And Chapman looks as if that they're going to be going for a win.
Minute and 18 seconds left, 28-17. I'm Billy Lopez alongside Zachary Nikolai. Christopher Livingston has been our spotter today and has been a great spotter. Mendoza on the carry once again. Chris shows me that Elijah Garcia was on the tackle. And Laverne calls timeout.
Following the conclusion of the game, the 15-minute cooling off period.
I'd like to use this time to thank all of our LVTV crews. We take a look at one of our cameramen today. It's been a tremendous job all season long.
Hector's doing a great job out there.
Hector on the riser. It's scary to get up there, and especially here, it's windy.
I was scared hearing it get up.
It's old, it's a little creaky.
But no, this crew out here, the LVTV3 crew, they've been doing a great job all season. Billy, you've been here for most of it. It's been fun working with you guys.
Not only here, but the people that you won't see or hear are the people inside the trailer too. Shane Rodriguez going crazy right now in the trailer. Hayden's been in there, Trey's been in there. Alexis has come back to help out. Zuli has been there. Julie has been there.
Claudia making her return.
Claudia makes a comeback today on replay. As McIntyre holds it, can't get to the end zone. Tackled by Derek Guzman.
Now, just great people all around. You know, we got to see a great game today. Chapman's going to have their undefeated season keep going. Great job by them all season. Laverne looked as if they were going to be 500 at the start of this game. They're going to drop to 4-6. Great season by them so far, even though the record doesn't show it. It's been fun broadcasting with you, Billy.
Well, it's been a tremendous pleasure as well, Zach.
it's been a good season for both sports teams. It's been great for our broadcasting team. And it's on to next year for Laverne as well.
On to next year for you as well. A lot of the broadcasters here doing this stuff will be adios. Christopher Livingston will be gone. I will be gone. Nicolette Rojo will be gone.
And that'll be it for your football.
For football, you know.
Career. You'll call some basketball. You know, we'll both be coaching. You'll be coaching over at San Dimas. I'll be doing Glendora Youth. So,
just funnel them over to San Dimas.
In our free time, we'll come and call a few games. The end of the game is coming.
59 seconds to go in the game. 3rd down and goal, still from the 8-yard line. A handoff to Mendoza. Mendoza running outside of the right side. Can't find the end zone. 4th down. Connor Johnson on the tackle.
It looks as if the field goal unit's going to come out here. Mendoza, I was hoping I would get to see number 4 come out here, but, you know, I guess he's just going to have to settle with only 3 touchdowns, Billy.
Not a bad day.
Oh, no, not at all. It's able to keep Chapman in this game was a main reason for them to be winning today, able to help McIntyre out in that backfield. And they're just fundamentally sound. I look to see them in the playoffs have a great run.
Well, the scoreboard had it a little mixed up, so that was 4th and goal. Turnover on downs. Leopards will take over. Sam Taylor getting 55 seconds to play.
His senior day will end with 55 seconds and a loss, more than likely, to Chapman. Matthew Albright had himself a great day, though.
James Gonzalez. 3 wide receivers set. Taylor looks left, throws left. Pass is caught. Tackle made by Parkin.
And this is what we're going to see. It's just going to be chunk plays going, some hitches. Maybe he's going to go over the top. We'll see. Taylor does have an arm on him.
Taylor rolls out to the right, looking deep right, throwing towards Mason Thomas. Almost was able to make the grab. Incomplete. Hunter Hosoda on the coverage.
Thomas is the guy I was rooting for today ever since you told me that he hasn't had a touchdown this season. Thought he was going to have one earlier.
I was getting ready for it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have one earlier. He's the guy I was rooting for today, and I think he showed up today to play. I was really happy with his performance.
Taylor once again takes the snap, throws towards Spencer Poole. Pass is complete near the left sideline, forced out of bounds.
We have 24 seconds left, and this is what we're going to see.
Nathan Parkin in on the tackle. 3rd down and 1 to go. Taylor faces a 3-man rush, lets it fly, incomplete. Just out of the reach of his intended receiver.
He had his guy open, just overthrew him out of bounds, and it could have been 6 for Laverne, able to cut this score down, but with that overthrow, it looks like we're going to have 8 seconds left of one more prayer.
That was number 80, Brandon Long, who made the previous catch and then was the intended receiver. Taylor rolls out, spins away from a tackle, throws to Brandon Long near the left sideline, and he got it. 2 seconds to go in the game. Since he got out of bounds, they'll get one more play. What do they say, just let it fly?
Oh, let it fly. Doesn't hurt to see it. I'm starting now to think about next season. Laverne's got 4 freshman quarterbacks, and you know, when you have 2 leaders out here, Sam Taylor's really liked, Albright is as well. It's going to be interesting to see them.
Taylor throws. And they'll just say incomplete, game over. Chapman wins it 28-17, an undefeated season. Congratulations to the Chapman Panthers team. It's very rare that you go undefeated in SCIAC. The SCIAC champion Chapman Panthers will go on to regionals and will play for a chance to win a championship.
They looked great throughout this whole season. Today was really tough on them. It looked as if it wasn't supposed to be this close, but they were able to win by 11 points, and they did their best today, and it's that running attack that's going to keep them going throughout the playoffs.
You know, this Chapman University team has had a few programs do well. Their baseball team just won a championship for Division III, and now this football team, ranked 15 in Division III, has a good chance at doing the same thing in the same year.
Yeah, and like I said, it's all about coaching. Bob Owens has done a great job keeping his team disciplined, keeping his team in it. I've seen a lot of teams who have done great throughout a season, and then they get to that last game, or they get to playoffs, and they think that it's just a big head. They think that they're what's going to win it, and so far it seems as if Bob Owens has done a great job of balancing, yes, you guys are great, but we're not finished yet. And so look for Chapman to go out there and maybe win it all.
422 total yards for Chapman, 176 rushing yards, 246 through the air. McIntyre, 17 of 20 with 246 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. What'd you like from McIntyre?
I liked his pocket presence and his decision making. Besides that first drive, where he threw an ill-advised pick, besides that, he seemed really under control. Yes, there was a lot of pressure in his face, but he was able to step up in the pocket, maneuver his way around, find the open guy most of the time. And it helps when you have Mendoza in the backfield helping you out. But McIntyre, great leader out there so far. He's a junior. I'm looking forward to him coming back next year. And this year, he should be able to lead them pretty far into the playoffs.
Big plays by Spencer Corona and Tanner Mendoza. Corona, 135 receiving yards. Mendoza, 133 yards on the ground.
It's like I told you, there's no one person who you can point to a stat sheet and go, that's the guy. Because the second you want to go and double cover a receiver, or you want to pack the box, they'll just do the opposite. They're so well-rounded. The defense was doing a great job today as well. They were bending, not breaking, and it's when you have that well-roundedness that it's difficult for opposing defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators to be able to game plan, because they can only take away the one thing they think you're better at, but they have to leave the other thing there. So they're going to be a tough team to face.
How about Raymond Morones? 3 interceptions.
I was really happy with the way he played today. He's going to be a driving force of that defense next season. And like I said, I'm going to talk to him here after. I think it was for his coach that passed, and I think he did a great job.
And James Gonzalez, 12 rushes, 102 yards on the ground. Finished off with the bang. Chapman wins it 28-17. Chapman are your SCIAC champions 2019. I'm Billy Lopez alongside Zachary Nikolai, wishing you a rest of your good day. You've been watching SCIAC football on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
Field.